and it's making some tight turns here. So I'm trying to get around these, what they call bollards. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. How the dogs look? Come on, guys. Hike. So, meet me up at the top. So, we're actually moving along on a trail right next to Route 9. That's why it's called the Route 9 West Virginia Trail. By the way, if we look a little funky, that's just for special effects. See if you're paying attention. Now, we're broadcasting using an infrared camera. This is for night vision, but it's all that was working at the time. This equipment's all custom made for what I do. And the equipment was the full color camera. It's just not functioning properly. And for me to fix it, it'll take too long. So, and I didn't have a backup full color. I've got the infrared one, and that's why we're using it. So, but it's kind of cool. You see things in a different perspective. Looks like a high-tech. I'm just making it up a hill here without carrying Jim, my co-passenger's weight. Good boys, easy guys. I'm gonna stop now. So, if you're new here, I'm the WooFDriver, and just gonna make sure we're broadcasting right here. Looks like we are. And sorry, we're on the West Virginia Route 9 trail, and it parallels the highway, so we're not going to get great views. Remember, we do this for adventure, to see all parts of the United States. We're mostly traveling the East Coast, but we've considered going all over, especially out west. What's nice about the part of the country we're in, especially predator-wise, come on guys, hike. Okay, so Princess might be a little tired because she looks good there. So I can tell by the dog's posture how they're feeling. Now, Kathleen, if you're tuned in, hello to you. Hello to Cheryl and a lot of the WooFDriver fan base. I appreciate you following me, and I try to make this as entertaining and educational as possible for those that want to live vicariously. They've had Huskies in the past and they know the breed, live vicariously through what we do. And for those that just want to, are curious, and for others, come on good girl, who want to learn to train their own dogs to do similar activities. This can all be done very easily. You don't need a big rig like I'm driving. Actually, a lot of, almost any bike you can run your dog on. You need a special attachment you can readily buy on Amazon. There's a couple of them out there. I recommend something called the Springer. I've used a couple others. Not to say others aren't good. I just haven't reviewed enough. Nothing stuck out in my mind. I bought Springer when it first came out back in, I'm going to say 95, and I've used them ever since. But what I do, I know, Kathleen, I know you were on there yesterday. I'm sorry. Some people will say, well, that's animal cruelty, what I'm doing. Kathleen doesn't say that. Kathleen's usually concerned about Princess. She's a dog on my left. You're looking at her, not yet. That's Jag and Chase. Princess will be coming up. She's right there, and she's 15 years old. So everybody always worries about her health because of her age. But actually, this is the kind of, guys, got a bathroom break here for Zorro, pit stop, and we'll clear this off the trail. It's one of the reasons I have a co-pilot, and then I don't have to keep getting in and out, and I keep the show going. So Princess at her age, we want to be careful, but we don't want to preclude her from doing anything that she wants to do, that she's capable of doing. She's on a lot of medications to help her arthritis and, age-related health issues, hyperactive thyroid, some liver, high liver counts, etc. But the medicines have really helped her. That's why she's 15 and still able to do what she does. Part of that's in a dog's genes too. Just like a human. You can be as physically fit as possible and still have health issues, and you can be as not physically fit as possible and not have health issues. So part of it is related, part of it's not. Come on, guys, come on, pretty. But I believe the more mobility and activity we can give Princess, the better she'll do. And it's proven because it keeps her from actually her joints really tightening up all this activity. So you'll notice, now a couple people thought she was limping or thought the other dogs were limping. I caution you on the way the camera rotates and goes up and down. It skews the picture some because it's using, in addition to the way it rides, it's using a really wide angle lens. So it gets distorted. None of these dogs are limping. They do have unusual gaits and strides. Sometimes when they're on here, it doesn't affect their physical mobility. Chase, my dog to the right of me, the camera's coming on right now. He actually, come on guys, he actually looks like he's limping. He's got such a long stride. I call him the wolf man because he looks most like a wolf. He actually lopes. He's tall and lanky, and when he's out running off leash, you might have seen him yesterday. We were free ranging off leash. He lopes, so therefore he might be identified as a wolf. That's just his stride because of his body build. So when he's on this bike, he sometimes looks like he's limping. If any dog was limping, sometimes it's a cramp. I'll stop, I'll evaluate, I'll watch. Sometimes they need to walk through it or trot through it, and sometimes they need to be put up in the special seat we have. The most likely to limp would be Princess, but actually she hasn't limped in a long time because of the medication she's on and because of all the activity she's been able to get. Now, sometimes, as people have pointed out, Kathleen did, she'll stumble a little. And that usually happens, we're on a concrete or blacktop trail now. That'll usually happen with older dogs because when you're not on a concrete trail, when you're on dirt or when you're on grass, because they don't lift just because they're older, they're not lifting their paws up as high because it takes more energy. So, good boy, Chase. Chase is stopping to have a little potty break. Good boy. Good boy. He was just doing a pee, and sometimes you don't have to fully stop for that. Remember, I'm trying to keep the dogs stride together when they're in a groove, keep it going without interrupting it as much as possible for bathroom breaks. But of course, we have to take them. Now, sled dogs don't need bathroom breaks. They can't stop a 20-some dog sled dog team. So, yeah, we are crossing a pretty big road. This is Route 9 we're crossing. Looks like we go back into the woods here. Hopefully, looks like there's ways to get around these barriers, Jim, without. Yeah, because we've got. Yeah, for this road, I think you should be off. So that's again why I have a co-pilot with me. Get to some of these roads. You can't anticipate them all. Just get the situations that are. What should I do? Yep.
I don't know if you should go around the pole and cross the bike crossing or
I think it's best bet.
Or the dotted line.
Yep, I just think it's easier. The terrain. G over. G is a sled dog command. G over. Yep. Come on, guys. Notice how when we get to a pole, they like to. Okay. Jim's going to get off just to make sure. It doesn't look like they're just traveling super fast, but we're low down, so it's hard enough to see us as it is, and then you add to it typical traffic, people on cell phones, whatever. Okay, you got cars coming. So this is why everything we do has to be strategically done and has to be carefully supervised. On big roads, I'll call Chris in. He's the guy in the truck. He's my event coordinator. Come on, guys. Princess. Okay, Jim, watch out, bud. Yep. Good deal. So even though that is a crossing for dogs and people, hop in, buddy, when you can. Brake. You can use the brake. Good. Come on, pretty. Little bit of brake, Jim. Watch her. She's. Come on, pretty. Good girl. What you got to be careful. Good. You got the brakes on. It's when you get. Okay. Okay. When you get to certain situations, like where there's the poles, they call them the bollards. The dogs all want to pee there and mark it, but she can get on the other side, especially Princess. Some of the other dogs might also, but what we want to do is make sure they're on the right side. Now, if you do get a Springer, I was talking about the Springer's the attachment for the bicycle that harness that the dogs tether to. Trying to look ahead, okay, just a hill. And if you do get the Springer, a lot of them have breakaways. Well, they all have breakaways. I don't use them. What a breakaway is, if you would get to that pole and your dog would go on one side and you go on the other, it would break so the dog wouldn't get wrapped around the pole. Now, I'm experienced and I've done this enough that I don't want to use the breakaway. And when you get around a highway, the breakaway would be rough because the dog could get scared and take off. And there's a highway there. But for certain uses, training, where you don't go to congested areas or trafficked areas, the breakaway is nice. So if you have questions about that, it's hard to explain without giving you a visual on it, please ask. So back to Princess's age. So I go back to this because I know people just tuning in think this is so cruel, some of them, and this is actually freedom for the dogs because it lets them run, whatever age they are. Even properly done, a puppy can do this. Now, you don't want puppies to pull because their bones are developing, and if their growth plates aren't finished growing, they're not touching, and a veterinarian can let you know, they can take an x-ray. Come on, guys. Then you don't want to, never want them to pull. The dogs on here don't have to pull. Come on, guys. So that's all fine and dandy. But if they were pulling, if you put a dog in a situation where it had to pull or it was able to pull, and it was mile marker 2, Jim.
You might get him a glimpse.
I already did. Mile marker 2.
Yes, sir.
So if you put them in that situation, it could be stunt or growth. It could be problematic. So you want to be very careful about that. And you can consult with the veterinarian. Got it. Zorro doing a break. So, and again, this another really advantage of doing all these activities is it keeps the dog's system working. They do a lot of bathroom breaks, which is healthy for them. And it keeps everything rolling just like a human, the activity level. Just gets them going. In addition, they do that because they're out in an unfamiliar place. And they know that, of course, through the scent, through their sight. And they might want to empty themselves because they don't want to, instinctually, they could be coming upon prey or another dog, a wolf. Let's see what happens. So what would happen is, hey, Jim, hold the brake for a second. You got it? Okay, I just want to move this out some because Zorro's a little farther in than I thought. So I'm just adjusting cameras here, folks, in case you're wondering, what is he doing now? Excuse me while this is live TV. Hey, I'm on a live broadcast. What's up? Well, I could talk for a sec. I could talk. What's going on? Okay. No. I'm in West Virginia. Okay, thanks. Love you. Bye. Bye. Got to keep Mrs. WooFDriver happy there. So I'm just going to adjust these cameras. Chase was out some. I'll get right back to the lecture at hand in a sec, folks. Oops, I think that's not doing what I wanted it to do. We over-tightened it, basically. Okay, so my phone just took another dive. That was probably me hitting it. Okay, you ready for me, Jimmy?
Yes, sir. I got the brake on.
Okay, that's good. Come on, Princess. Pretty.
Brake's on.
Pretty. Come on, good girl.
Tell me when you go.
Let go. Come on, hike. Zorro happened to look over my shoulder because he saw the cars moving and their eyes are trained to see motion. See, almost everything, every action the dog does, I'm alert to because I do so much with them, I understand it. But that's the way any dog trainer is going to be. Going to know what's happening, any good dog trainer. So, canine body language is so crucial, and it's really not that hard to read. Sorry, looking for my sunglasses. Getting a little bright out here. Come on, guys. Actually, Princess is doing really good. I'm amazed. The more activity I give her, the better she does. Now, granted, she's not going to be the fastest runner on the team, but if you keep it at her pace, she likes to engage. And what I mean by that is, dogs do things they want to do. So when someone says, well, how do I know they want to do this? Well, have you ever seen a dog do something it doesn't want to do? It's a battle and a struggle. That's why training some dogs without proper motivation is very hard, sometimes impossible. Dogs are smart, and if they don't want to do something, they're not going to do it, especially a husky. So that's the trick, getting them to do stuff they don't want to do for training purposes is how we train them. This looks like a pretty big hill. There is a big hill on this trail, they said. So when Princess don't want to go anymore, she just stops. And you'll know that instantaneously pretty much. Now, the trick with her is coaxing her a little along and keeping her excited. And we do that by sometimes moving onto the grass, even though it's a little harder for her. As I said, they have to lift their paws up more because the grass is a little uneven. It's not as smooth as concrete or blacktop, but it holds scents in it because it's porous, scent that they can smell that other animals have been there, and that excites them. So that's how sometimes I'll motivate her. But a dog will almost never do anything it doesn't want to do without being trained to do it. So when people say, well, how do you know your dogs want to do it? The other thing is, with huskies, they need some serious, vigorous activity, especially when they're in their youth. I mean, even Princess at her ripe old age, if she sat around every day, she would wither away. Come on, good girl. You know, she's struggling a little. Not struggling is the wrong word, but it's a little fast for her. But I had to gain a little speed to get up this hill here. So I am motor powered, by the way, as well as pedal powered. And the pedals are motor assisted as well. So depending on the circumstance and the grade, I might sometimes pedal and let the motor assist me or not assist me, or I might just use the throttle. So kind of a cool area for being next to a highway with I love the hilly terrain. And the hills help work the dogs. So if you're going to go, if you can't go as far sometimes, if I'm looking to build endurance or looking for a cardio workout, might determine the trail or the area we go to. Because certainly climbing the hills is working them. And Princess will have a tougher time doing cardio because she can't run as fast. But when we want to go faster, we'll put her up if she's still down, or she'll be in the truck and take a quick ride with the boys. And we might show you that today. We'll see. I'll see how they're feeling. No, I'm good right now. So Jim's asking me, because this is a lot of weight here to stop, sometimes he's got a set of brakes too. So he can put the brakes on and I can put the brakes on as well. But sometimes it'll take both of us braking if it's a steep hill. Another reason to have a co-pilot. Come on, good girl. So as I was saying, she's less likely to stumble on the blacktop because she doesn't have to lift her legs because it's smooth. Come on, good girl. Slow down and she gets right back into the game. So I'm just moving the camera a little bit for Zorro. Come on, pretty. See now. Come on, good girl. Come on, good girl. So now she's getting tired. But just going a slower speed, sometimes stopping and giving her a minute or two or 5 helps too. And I'm going to just go a really slow pace because I want her to get a little bit of running in. We took about 2 hours to get here. She was probably in the truck for 3 hours. And they sleep in the truck. You've seen my truck. They have plenty of room in there. They comfortably sleep, and they have water all the time. There's fans if we need it. But it's nice to stretch and get a little bit of walking or trotting in. Come on, good girl. There she comes. So she's listen, I didn't think she'd do anything today because she did 5 miles yesterday and 5 miles Saturday. And at the house, she's been pretty active. The boys are usually not active at the house. There's a doggy playground, or wolf park, as I like to say. But they get enough activity. Come on, pretty. Pretty. Come on, good girl. See how she can ride behind there. Come on, good girl. Come on, good girl. Come on, good girl. Good girl. Come on. Sorrel. See, I'm getting near the grass, and she's just stopping to market. Okay, pretty girl. Actually, I think she's doing a bathroom break. She was being marking, so she's still feeling good enough to. Okay. Come on, pretty.
You ready?
Yep.
There you go.
Come on, pretty. See, I got her near the grass. She wanted to mark it, got her mind off of wanting to stop, and because she smells all the scents from the animals that have been there. Remember, the blacktop's not as porous. It doesn't hold all the different scents. And now, see, she stumbled a little coming back up on the blacktop. But notice she's still going, and that's the important thing. Now, she's definitely... Come on, pretty. Coaxing her along is so important. Come on, good girl. Come on. But you'll see when we put her up, come on, good girl. See, I'm not even doing a walking pace. I'm just going super slow. And Princess's gait, good girl, is normally to the side. That's why you'll see her moving sideways. Come on, Zorro. Zorro wants to take advantage of that grassy smell too. Come on, good boy. See how slow we can go on the bike. Now, if this was not motorized, I couldn't pedal this slow. I couldn't keep this pace going, especially going up this hill. So this is really nice. That's why we have a motor. The gearing on this bike, for those of you that are techie, is super low. See, she stumbles a little just going back up because she's not lifting her paws up as high. But this is geared really low so I can climb these hills at the slow speed. Come on, good girl. But just imagine how good it is for the dogs. Come on, good girl. So it's not about me. This isn't about me. This is for the dogs. If it was about me, I wouldn't have the dogs with me. Come on, good girl. I wanted her to get this hill climb in. Come on, good girl. Good girl. Come on, pretty. Notice how I'm putting her back on the grass. Just to give her. There you go. Good girl. Got to speak her language. Part of that is dominance, too. Good girl. Part of her. Come on, pretty. See, but this bike allows her to get in the position behind it or on the side. Good girl. Good girl. What I mean by dominance is she wants to know when she gets in a position that I'll stop. And she's done that since she was younger. Haven't always given into it because it's not always about her needing a break. It's more about her dominance. There she comes. Come on, Zorro. There she comes. And we carry walkie-talkie, so you might hear that. Come on, pretty. Now, I am going super slow, and this is giving her the chance. Come on. She wants to go. Okay. So I'm still going to leave her down. You got the brake, Jim? Okay, I'm still going to let her down. I'm letting her take a break for a second. Look at the hill we came up. It's a pretty good size. Yeah, it's a long side, but it's nice because it's not too bad. And because of the motor, I can go super slow. So I'm going to try to loosen this as I can. I'm going to just adjust this camera. got a nice breeze going on, which makes it really okay. Chase wants to go. Just adjusting my cameras, folks. This is giving the dogs a break. Princess, meaning Princess. She's looking behind us. There's nothing there. She's just seeing the. It's good girl. Boy, Jaggy. Boy, they don't like stopping. So we're gonna see if she wants to climb anymore. If she wants to stop. This gives me a chance to check any comments that might be coming in. I tell everybody, please leave any comments, questions, concerns that you may have on the feed so we can get them in and make sure we are live. Good. So on you've never seen anything. Hi, Sierra Schaefer. Thank you so much. She wanted me to be safe out here. And, you know, that's, again, why I've got a crew with me always, because you just never know what you're going to run into. Just gonna see if there's any other people leaving comments or questions. Got 2 comments on WooFDriver Live. Hello, Cheryl. How are you? Good to see you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let's see if we got anybody else out there. Wow. Biker, are we over enough? So I can do this and it helps. Hi, Emma. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Emma says it's great exercise for him. She recognizes that. Sometimes it's a little hard. Like I said, it looks a little awkward if you're not familiar with it. They're coming at me, Jim. Oh, thank you. It's getting them some exercise. Yeah, that's right, for the dogs. Exactly.
Doing some mapping?
Yeah, doing a little mapping and and some broadcasting too on YouTube and Facebook. Lots of cool stuff.
That's quite the rig.
It is, isn't it?
So what kind of mapping?
Well, just through the phone, it'll give a little bit of the topography, what's around here and how it's going and that kind of stuff. So other people that use it will get an idea. It's a good trail.
You go on other trails?
We do.
All over the country? Or
East Coast, more of the Mid-Atlantic. We've gone as far as the Cape Cod Rail Trail in Massachusetts, and we've gone almost on the Virginia Creeper Trail, which is near Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm going on Virginia Creeper.
That's a good one.
And the New River Trail.
New River's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, we've done that. We did some side ones there and we almost got stuck. But yeah, it's a great trail.
This bicycle has been to China.
Wow.
The
So you,
Middle East,
wow.
across Iowa.
You've been worldwide. Have you been with it?
My dad.
Oh, that's cool.
I've got other bikes that I've ridden.
So that's a road warrior there.
This isn't, it doesn't get out much. It hadn't come out today.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good. You going to Western Maryland Rail Trail?
Yeah, we love that one. Cool.
It's a nice smooth.
It is. Hey, have a great day. Good talking to you. Thank you. Jimmy, ready? Come on, pretty. Hike. Come on, pretty. Watch out, turn her around. Princess. Good girl. So, just checking all the feeds. I know someone said Princess is trying. She is trying, but remember, some of that is attitude. But she's doing great. She will, we'll put her up in the chair a bit. I'm trying to get her at least up this hill. Come on, pretty girl. Come on, pretty girl. Yeah, she's tired. Let's see, one more time. Sometimes it's attitude. We're checking. Yep. Come on, guys. Come on. So you can stop and start within seconds and look at the difference of her. And that's what I'm saying. Huskies they're very aloof, very dominant. Oh, she's going to do a bathroom break. Oh, I thought she was. Nope. Come on, guys. Hike. Now I got to get her up. Come on, Zorro. Bathroom break. Yep, nope. Let me put her up. So, you got it? Come on, pretty girl. You're the best. So what I do now is, now I can tell she's tired. She's letting me know she's done. And I was expecting that. What she got in today has been awesome so far. We might get some more out of her. We might not. But remember, that's my job, to take care of all the dogs and make sure that they get the proper activity and they're all entertained. So now we're going to be able to pick up the speed a little bit. But the weakest link now will be Jag. Hey, Jim, here's a cable tie. If you can put that in your pocket or something. So this handle really helps that I was talking about on the harness. Move my phone up. You're the best girl. You are the best girl. So good. Good girl. Now, the little bit of run that she did gave her enough to stretch herself out, as well as do a few bathroom breaks from being in the truck. And she's ready to sit. Now, even sitting on this takes a little bit of work. So, depending on where we're at, we might put her back in the truck. Good girl. Okay. Good deal. Good girl. So now we're at 3. Hey, Jim, I might get you to hop off just to make it up there because I got her up. Yep. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, let's try it. You ready? Come on, guys. We're fine. So we got Princess securely in the back, and she enjoys the view. But even sitting there's a little bit of work for her. She can lay down, but she's too excited to. So that's why we might do a truck, get her back in the truck, depending on how many miles we're going to do today. So I got the boys in fit gear. In fit, not fifth. And they're getting ready to rock and roll. And now we can put a little bit of speed on them. The biggest thing we got to be careful of now is Jag, because he's the shortest. So he kind of bounces because his stride isn't as long as the two front dogs. So, and that's because he's short. He has short paws. So what happens is, when it's bouncing on concrete, he can hurt his, not hurt, but sometimes I'll put booties on him. But it can be a little bit abrasive, as well as tiring him out because of the bouncing. Instead of letting him stride through it, it actually takes more energy for him to bounce. This is what I've noticed. So depending on the situation, I'll keep the speed down even for him, depending on the terrain and the situation of the trail and how he's doing it. I'll show you. He can bounce some. It's just for long periods of time. And if we really want to, if it's really brisk out and the boys hadn't run in a while, I'll let them air it out some with Jag, and then we'll put him up in the truck and let them really fly the trail once he gets his mileage in. Usually for the boys, it's a minimum of 5 miles. Princess, it's anywhere from half a mile to 5 miles. Okay, so now I'm going to give it a little speed. You're good right now, buddy. You can see Princess happily riding in the back. Good boys. Good pace. So Chase, it looks like he's limping. He's not. That's just the way he runs. It's his stride. So all these hills mean we won't go as far today. And we knew that anyway. They're coming off some pretty heavy activities for the past few days. But it's a beautiful day out here. Not too hot for the dogs. Zorro's doing another... Zorro on another bathroom break. If it's on the side, on this kind of trail, we're okay on. No, it's on the side, isn't it? Okay, you better get it then. That's the third bathroom break for Zorro. See how this gets the dogs to empty their system? Super healthy for them. And Zorro is the biggest of my dogs. He's roughly 75 pounds. He looks like he's 90. I've had a husky before who was 90. Poor Chasey. But Zorro, because these dogs are woolly coats, double coat, long-haired huskies, they look almost like Samoyeds. They look bigger than they are. But Zorro is pretty big for a husky. Part of that's because he got Malamute. Okay, hike. Okay. This thing's really hilly. Look at it, Jim. Yeah, really good. How's the wheel up? So I'm looking ahead, and usually we're on rail trails, which are pretty level because the railroad, they're old railroad trails, and the railroad, that's the key for the trains, keeping them level. But this was not a rail trail, and it's got a lot of hills, which is, again, good for the dogs, good to challenge them. And I'm just so happy to be able to get them the exercise they need. Again, talking about the husky breed, there's some other high energy breeds out there, but a lot of people contact me and say, you know, their husky's just getting into trouble, behavioral trouble. If you can wear your husky out, you can tire him out or her out, you will notice a big difference in behavior and trainability. So the Game of Thrones, I guess I'm not a big TV buff or movie buff, but I guess there's a lot of huskies or wolves in there, that huskies that look like wolves, part of the storyline. And it's inspiring a lot of people to get huskies, but it's also becoming a problem because people don't understand the requirements for huskies, and they're getting them because of the looks, the TV show, whatever, and then they're finding out they're a lot of work. And what I mean by that, not only a lot of work, but they get a lot of behavioral issues because they're not exercised properly. They're not able to purge their exercise. And that is always the answer with a husky. If they can't exercise, and it's got to be something they enjoy doing. Now, they all enjoy running, but it's got to be in the right format. Again, I say this a million times. They're probably not going to play a game of fetch. They might chase a ball and bring it back once or twice, but they get bored of it real quick. They're very prey-driven dogs. So activities that will engage their prey senses are the best. So bringing them to a new trail like this, especially when they're on the grass, they think they're in pursuit of prey. They smell other animals and scents. The wind comes across, brings scents in from the other side where animals may be, even though they're not visible. Of course, the dog sees a lot through what he smells or she smells. So 9.99 out of 10 times, it's always just need to increase. Now Jag's bouncing a little, which is okay, but we don't want him to do it the whole trip. 9 out of 10 times, 9.99, you just need to find physical activity they want to engage. Bike riding is the easiest and the most successful activity that I recommend. If you get an attachment, like I talked about the Springer, Amazon readily available. So that's 3 miles. So that means Princess did roughly 0.7 miles. Actually, she did close to a mile because we started about 1.5. So she did more of a mile, which is awesome. This guy's got in 1.5 miles right now. So with this Springer bike attachment, you mount it under your seat on a bicycle, and the dog's tethered to it. 1 dog, up to 4 dogs, you could easily do, 2 on each side. They can't pull you over because you're sitting over it, so your center of gravity is right over top of where they would attach to. Therefore, when they see a squirrel or another animal, they could try to lunge, they'll feel the spring, and they'll learn that, wow, that's the end of the rope for me, I can't go any further, and it won't pull you over. And I'm not a bike rider at all. I got my first Springer with my first husky, and I took him for a mile in the neighborhood, and he became the best dog I've ever had. I mean, just the best dog I know. He was just so well behaved, because when he got that mile out of his system, he's like, cool, I got my activity. It took a little bit of that piss and vinegar out of him, and that's the name of the game. He loved it too, and because he was so manageable, he became such a good dog. When I was able to give him an activity that he enjoyed, I got another husky. This is years ago. These huskies aren't here anymore, but I'm like, this is easy, and I like to get him a playmate because all I got to do is ride them on the bike, and they're the best dogs in the world. So I got another husky, and they became best buds. And I put both of them, one on each side of my bike, and I said, you know what? Instead of going on the road every day or every other day, I'm going to go to a bike trail, learn about bike trails. And my wife was always telling me how good bike trails are. She was a biker. She liked doing it, just a nature person. That's this kind of stuff she likes to do even today. And so she introduced me to a bike trail, and I took the dogs, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing in the world. You're back in the woods. You don't have to deal with traffic. Beautiful, next to a river. Take them down to the river, and it became a sport that I did religiously in all times of the year, in the spring, summer, fall, and winter. In the summer, of course, it's harder, but remember, a lot of the trails, especially the trails, the old railroads, they are in the forest or in the woods, so they're shaded. So it's still cooler back there, and in addition, they're usually near waterways, so I can take the dogs off to get some water relief, soak their pads, get a drink, even swim a little bit. And that became my modus operandi, my operation for many, many years. And I actually went to the same trail probably 1,000,000 times. As long as I had those huskies, when I started doing it, they were going to the trail. They were probably around 2 years old, and we went to that same trail probably for 13 years or so. That was the NCR trail, still there, beautiful trail, but I've done it so much I'm sick of it. That's why I travel all over looking for other trails now, and I've got more advanced bikes than I had with them, etc. The bikes now, they're what I'm calling, yep, dog power go-karts. We're getting ready to go across the road. And look at the topography here. It's really cool. Where's the trail continue, Jim?
On the other side, to your right, 1 o'clock.
Ah, see it. I didn't see it there. How do you suggest? To the right?
I don't know, we'll have to take it. They let me get off.
Okay, I think that's the only way.
Yeah, just get by the thing.
G over.
I'll probably keep going.
Yeah, well, we're definitely gonna jump. Let me get by here. G over. Okay, good. So I was gonna stop and water the bollard. Okay, you wanna get off here, Jimmy? So coming to a pretty big road crossing. Doesn't seem terribly busy now, but there's a hill. Yep, thank you. So Jim's gonna watch me. You get a good view of Princess in the back sitting up in her perch. Okay, yep, we'll take our time. If it takes an hour, I don't care. Just want to be safe. So I'll talk to you more about huskies when we get across this road. Okay, thanks, buddy. Again, we're very cautiously approaching this. Come on, guys. Hike. Watch out, Jim. I'm coming right to you. So I'm trying to get around this car coming.
To the left, or either way.
Piece of broken glass. Always got to be in look. Come on. How I look on Jag? You got him?
Good. Yep, everything's good.
Stay
in the grass for a while. Don't try to come right up.
Yep, I'm a little bit in a rut.
I'm pushing you.
Yeah, here we go. G over. Let me pull this up here. This is a bad spot. Come on, guys. So I'm taking my weight off the bike to make it up. Good boys. Oh. Looks good here. You can hop in, Jim. That's how we cross the road, folks. Making sure the camera is still giving you a good view of everything. It's hard for me to see in the sunlight. And again, it's not your camera. It's the way we're broadcasting in the pinkish tone. Wish it was green for St. Patty's Day. When's St. Patty's Day, buddy? Saturday? So make pretend it's green. I'll say it's for St. Patty's Day. That's just because, again, if you're just tuning in, I'm WooFDriver. Come on, guys, hike. And we're broadcasting using a infrared camera. Normally at night I use these. Most of this stuff is specially customized for what we do to enable us to work with the dogs and the broadcast. And the full color camera, there's a few, but I only had one with me, and I just didn't want to act properly, so therefore we're doing infrared, which makes the picture look a little pinkish, but kind of gives you some interesting hues, I guess. The sky sometimes turns real blue, yellows turn really wild colors, so enjoy. Talking about with huskies, they are one of the most abandoned breeds now. Again, from the influence of the Game of Thrones, their huskies or wolves on there, and they're just such a beautiful dog. Then they're pretty, health-wise, they're pretty stable, but they are a handful. And I don't want to discourage anybody from getting one. If you have one, don't want to say that, you know, don't not get one because of what I'm saying, but or certainly, hopefully you would not have to rehome yours, but just there's a saying I have: give the hardest job to the laziest man will find the easiest way to do it. So with a husky, because they need so much energy, I find ways for them to purge their energy where I couldn't keep up with them, where I don't have to be as energetic, such as the bike. You can cover many more miles than most people can walk. They can usually ride more, and it can give the dog and then get you out there with them, good companionship, and then everybody wins. Interesting situation here, huh, Jimmy?
Maybe go around to the right.
Okay.
I don't know until we get there. It looks like small stones to the right. I don't know if you can go around that way or
They've done really good. I hope they did it. That stop sign might be... No, I think... So watch closely on camera, folks. This is Wolf driving here. You got brake? Just a little bit. I'm a... I know I'm trying to let Zorro do his thing.
I'm letting you live real slow. Tell me to stop when you need to stop. Looks good, John. Doing good.
How are the dogs on my right? Yep. Yep. You think you should get off or think? Okay. Yeah, definitely going up this hill too. I'm going to go to the left. If I got to get off, I will.
You can't shoot right now.
No, not at all.
Okay, go.
Okay, come on, guys. Hike. Yep. Yep. How the dogs look? Come on, guys. G over. G over. So we're going to have to move at a decent clip to get up this hill. Now, this is a little steep for two people, and to control my speed accurately with a second person would be hard. So I'm going to climb this hill without Jim. And Jim's about 70 years old or so. He does unbelievable. His physical ability. Got some kids to my left, it looks like. So I don't know what's up there, but I'm always going to approach everything cautiously. But notice how the dogs, good pace for them. They're trotting up this hill, and this is going to be a great workout today for them. Cool area. I mean, for being a trail on the side of a road, essentially, it's pretty cool. Pretty scenic, relatively speaking. Not so much nature scenes, but some of the topography is interesting. Jim's walking up the hill. You might be able to see him as the camera rotates. I saw some kids come down from this water tower, whatever it is. And once I get to level ground, I'll stop and wait for Jim. And looks like an information sign here. I like to see where we're at, so I might read that. Looks like actually an overlook. How cool. I might be able to take you with me. Jimmy's doing great. Dogs are doing great. It's been a great day. Yeah, I'll take the ho, guys. Now, when Jim gets here, I'll read the sign to you, folks. I like doing that. It encourages me to read it. Hi, good girl. There I am, WooFDriver, and just a lot of fun. I'm interested in the history of anywhere I'm at. So, of course, as we travel these trails all over the East Coast of the United States, I like learning about the area and the history of it, and our history is not, at least our documented history is not near as old, as like Europe. So I was an exchange student in Europe for a bit, so pretty familiar with that, and that really got me interested in history when I saw how far they go back and some of the structures there. It's truly amazing. We don't have that kind of history here, but we're part of the New World, I guess. But it's pretty fascinating. History could be cool. So I'm going to get Jim to water the dogs before he gets in. Now, Princess is getting a little antsy, I see it. So she might want to get down and do a little more walking with the bike. And we'll see how that plays out. But that's the cool thing about this design. At any time, I can put her up, take her down, whatever she needs. Can you give us some order, Jim? We're closing in on 2 miles. We're actually closing on 2.5. So I'm going to hold the brake while Jimmy does this, otherwise we will roll back. So little things like that you got to keep in mind when you're out here wolf driving. So we carry, I've mentioned this before, we carry 5 gallons of water with us, and we carry these portable water bowls. Now, some of this stuff I used to sell because I think it's so clever. A portable water bowl that folds down. There's a million of them out on the market now, but when I first discovered them, I sold them, used to sell them, because some of this equipment was so obscure, I had a tough time finding it. I figured, hey, it'd be great to be able to offer this to people. But this collapsible water bowl's got a button on it, which is really crucial to our operation, because it actually can wrap around any of the bike poles, and we can unwrap it as we need it, unbutton it. If it didn't have that button, we'd have to find a little spot for it on the bike, and it'd just be a little harder to put away and to pull back out. Jason wants a little. Now, the dogs haven't been working too terribly hard, but it's in the sun, even though it's a cool day out here and there's a nice brisk breeze blowing. So that's why I knew they'd appreciate some water. If you follow me before, you know I usually water them anywhere from a mile to the first 5 miles. You reading it, Jim? I'm going to read it too. Oh, that's okay, buddy. This is buckle right, Jim, on Jag. Yep, cool. Just making sure. That's all good. That's fine. He's got enough. Okay. Sometimes what they hook to on the harness, they're called D-rings. They aren't as wide as some of the other harnesses, so it's a little harder to get the carabiner hooked through, and that's the smallest size carabiner they make in that magnetic format that I like. So you just got to be a little careful's the wrong word, a little strategic how you do it. It's not going to hurt them if it's wrong. It just doesn't give them as much leeway. So we usually pass through twice when we water the dogs, and that's because sometimes a dog can be thirsty and panting a lot, and they can only take in so much water, and you don't want them to bloat, and you don't want to overhydrate them. So with the second pass through, they have one pass through, the water sits, they relax for a minute, 30 seconds, whatever, pass through again, and it helps. They might want to drink a little more water. I always suggest when you're doing activities, double water, make 2 pass-throughs. When you set in, I'll go and read the sign, and I'm also going to move one of the cameras. I mentioned we use Google Clips cameras. They kind of take candid shots of the dogs, so I can share everything with with everybody else as they're there. I'm going to move this, Jimmy. I want to put this on here. Give everybody don't know if I'll be able to do what I want to do, but I'm going to try for a sec. We carry some tools with us if we need them for different situations. I'm just trying to position this camera so I get some cool shots of Princess. Good girl. Okay, I'm going to read the sign real quick while you're viewing that, folks. Okay, this is called Shaw Run Wetland Complex. And just real quickly, we're at West Virginia, Route 9. This runs from Charlestown to Martinsburg. Calcareous fen. A fen is defined as a lowland covered wholly or partly with water. Fed by Shaw Spring and Shaw Run, the wetland is a unique type of wetland for West Virginia. Out wide. And that's why his is a special lead the way we have him hooked up. Just gives him a little more flexibility. And Jag's a little timid, and as he's gotten older, he's been a little funny on the bike sometimes. So we, again, accommodate them any way they need to be accommodated to keep the fun happening. So that's the biggest thing. A lot of people get frustrated. They'll say, oh, my dog can't do that. dog's too old to do that, dog's this, dog that. And I always think outside of the box and don't put human emotion into it, because human emotion stifles lots of creativity and potential. What I mean by that is you can't always imagine how you'll feel in a certain situation. You gotta look outside of the normal parameters to possibly understand, especially when you're dealing with animals. What do you think, Jim? I think that's my best bet. Cameras might be too wide. You watching?
Be slow. Cameras are fine. Dogs are fine.
I'm gonna do it this way.
Get out.
Yep, come on, guys. Zorro.
You're running like it.
Nope. Zorro. I'm letting him sniff. Come on, Zorro. Come on, Zorro. Zorro. Come on. It's okay. He sees that pole on top of him and he feels weird. Come on, Zorro. Zorro. Watch Jag. Good boy,
I
Jag.
don't see it crossing.
Is that the end of it?
I can't tell. Look. It says something right there on that yellow sign. See that yellow sign? I think it goes around that corner.
I'll let you go look.
I think it goes down that road.
I have it on my phone if you want me to look.
I think it's angled.
Okay. So again, you get to situations where the trail almost ends or just looks funny. I might have to pull the trail map up. Is it for the trail? Okay. Ah, that's what that is. Okay. We'll just have to be careful. Okay, folks. Okay. Come on, guys. How am I looking? How's the bike looking? Jim, how's the bike look? Clear. Okay, I'm good. Come on, guys. Come on, Chase. Thank you. Kind of cool. You want to get in, Jim? Okay. So we're riding on the road now. It's a designated bike lane, but you always want to be careful. That's why I've got mirrors and got Jim. If you go back in the WooFDriver archive on YouTube or WooFDriver.com, many of times I've ridden on roads in my neighborhood. I ride on roads all the time. I'm more familiar with those roads, but sometimes I'll get an escort from Chris, who's, again, the WooFDriver tour coordinator. And he's one of the main WooFDriver guys, like Jim. And just to let me know if something's coming up, something warning. You know, if a truck comes down here, at least to let them know we've got the dog sled on wheels. And he's got a walkie-talkie, which he can buzz me if need be. So I see the bike trail coming up. This is really a hilly area. This is kind of the perfect kind of hill riding, because it's gentle enough that the bike is pretty well capable on here. But it's aggressive enough that the younger dogs, meaning Chase, Jag, and Zorro, can enjoy it. I've got a school bus coming at a high rate of speed. He's on the other side of the road, but just want to be careful. And I'm just trying to truck through here as quick as possible, because I can see where this can become a busy area. I'm looking in my mirror, making sure Jimmy's got his finger on the pulse of where we're at. I'm gonna cut this wide, folks, just because I gotta make this cut. Come on, guys. Come on. Hike. G. I'm gonna let Jim come and kind of push through here, because this is to get to the trail is a little the terrain's loose dirt, and the dogs will be fine on it, but the bike might not make it. So when you put too much stress on the mechanics of the bike, right, this is a 4-wheel drive bike, and it's got all the capabilities to go through virtually anything. We're going to go in a sec, Chase. Virtually any terrain, but right now the back motor's not working, so we're only running like the other bikes, 2-wheel, but which is most cars, they're 2-wheel drive, unless you have all-wheel or 4-wheel, which again this does when the motors are all working. But it's limited, so I want to be careful in the area and not harm the bike, so we don't have to end our run. Hope you're enjoying the show, folks. Once again, I'm the WooFDriver. I'm delighted to have you here. This is a unique opportunity for you to see what I do, kind of invented my own dog systems. I need your help. I just want to make sure I get through this terrain okay. You can push me.
Take your time, bud.
Yep. Come on, Chase. Come on, Chase. Just wanted to do that. Come on, Chi.
Always a challenge.
That rear wheel's okay, right, Jim?
Yeah, looks great.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna get right here. Let me get in, bud. Climb this hill. You think you should walk it?
Probably not, but I will if you want me to.
You gonna walk?
Yeah, I'll walk. Go ahead.
Okay.
Just wait for me.
Push me a little bit off.
Wait for me at the top.
Will do. Okay, so I might have to charge Jim for the extra exercise I'm letting him get. When we get to real hilly terrain like this, these are gentle hills, which is really nice. At the same time, I don't want to challenge the bike with the weight of him and me in here. Come on. And Princess on the back. So when we have the choice where he can walk, we do that. If you go back in the WooFDriver archive, you'll see plenty of times we've broken down, and we've had to be rescued before, as well as we've had to pull a MacGyver. Come on. Notice that when the horn came, Zorro turned around. He says, "Is that for us?" Yeah, it's just someone on the road, a good distance away from us, not honking at us. We do get people honking at us, taking pictures quite frequently. This is an unusual setup, and again, kind of my own system for maintaining my dogs and pioneering some new ways to interact with your dogs. Getting back to the Husky breed, because it's something I really want to touch on. And there was a great article, a friend of the McPaul Husky Rescue, I believe it is, in Pennsylvania, that was saying how the Huskies are becoming a problem. They're just such a breed, and there was almost a questionnaire, I believe it was. Don't get a Husky if you can't answer so many of these questions properly, because they're just such an energetic breed. What I try to do is find ways for people to appeal to their Husky's energy level, let them purge it or her purge it, and then have a really good dog that's trainable, and behavioral problems will cease to exist, which is hard to do with a Husky. Common problems with Huskies: they dig holes, they are escape artists out of their crates, out of their yards. And crate training for a Husky, I know, we made some posts about crate training with Huskies or dogs, and a lot of people are like, well, why would you put them in a crate? Why would you get a dog if you crate train it? A dog is the most comfortable in a crate usually. It surrounds them. They would sleep, they're pack-like den animals. They'll sleep in a den or in a ditch they dig when they're surrounded on at least 3 sides, because they feel safe there, because in the wild, instinctually, nothing can come up to them, or at least it's harder for something to come up to them and get them without them seeing it first. Something's not going to come behind them. So crates are actually one of the best things you can do for your dog. So again, that's the human emotion saying, well, why have a crate? Because it just confines them to an area. They like that. They feel safe. They want that. So it's very important that everybody understand our emotions should not be involved with our training of our dogs. It just doesn't work like that. And that's pretty, it just looks like she wants to get out. So, hi, good girl. How are you? Hi, good girl. Not yet, good girl. Sun feels great back here. So I'm just adjusting the camera a little so it's on her a little more. Hope to share these photos with everybody soon. Do not let your emotions be part of your dog training. It's a big mistake. You say, people will be having their dinner and they'll say, oh, the dog's begging. He wants the food. I'm going to give him the table food. Well, what we eat and what huskies or what the dogs eat are not always the same thing. We're eating a candy bar. They want a piece of the candy bar. Chocolate is toxic to dogs. So we can't let our emotions involve in our dog training and our dog lives. So people see this, they say, oh, the dogs are running so far, they're running too fast. For a human, maybe, not for a dog. So we got to understand this. But back to the Huskies. Huskies are one of the unique breeds that really need to be able to purge their energy. And if they don't have that outlet, they're going to be problematic. That can appeal to that energy level. That's what I'm trying to do here by showing you different ways of appealing to that instinct, so they want to exercise and get the exercising in without having to be as vigorous as they are. Hence the bike. We can all bike. A lot of us can bike usually through almost any level of age. Using the proper attachment, even if you're not physically fit, you can put the dog on the Springer attachment and the dog can walk or run with your bike. It's really a unique concept and interesting, and should be talked about a lot, like I do. So that's one of the easiest things. I know people have physical limitations. We all do as we get older. But some people are handicapped, whatever, and that's why wheelchairs and other ways of attaching the dogs could be an interesting concept. So attaching the Springer might work for some people. So just giving you some food for thought here. I've experimented it with a lot of different ways of attaching dogs to almost all kinds of vehicles, not to cars or something like that. That would be terrible. But I'm talking in pedal powered or electric powered bike kind of apparatuses. Even ATV would be wrong. Now, ATV's right if you put them in front of you and you got a sled dog team and you're not using the motor, you're only using it to get through difficult situations. That's one thing, not pulling the weight of it, of course. Well, unless it's a sled dog team. But we're talking recreational mushing, and that's usually for competitive training. How was it, Jim?
Great.
Good?
Everything good?
Everything's great. Bike's running great. I think everybody's tuned in. I'm going to see if next stop, I'll see if we have any more questions. We've been broadcasting for about an hour and 17 minutes. The miles aren't coming as fast because of the, hi, good boy, Zaro, because of the great. Oh, we did? I didn't even see it.
By the building when we went across the road.
Okay.
I'm not gonna pull it there.
Ready, Jim?
Yep, ready.
Hike? So what's that mean? We probably started at 1.5.
Yeah.
So 2.5, 3.5. So we've got 2.5, almost 3 miles in. And we're trucking along. We're doing great. So all I'm doing here is turning biking with your dog into kind of a touring sport, letting us see places that we probably wouldn't go to normally. They're too far. and sharing it with the dogs and letting them get some good exercise in. Folks, if you got any questions or comments, I'd love to answer them, and I'll check the feed at the next stop. You can comment or talk to me on any of the channels you're watching this, and I can peruse through them and try to address them directly. Now, I'm not always able to respond right away. Sometimes I don't see it. It's sunny out here. Hard to read the phone screen. But if I see it on the next broadcast, or I might personally go to your comment on Facebook and answer back. I'll try to tag you in it, how you reply with the person's name. Great breeze blowing. How you feel, Jim? You're probably hot. You've been walking a lot.
Oh, no, it's fine. That needed it. It's good. Good for me. It's fine.
It's really an interesting trail, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
I like this one.
Oh, I guess it couldn't beat the trail. The trail is fast.
Oh gosh, the trail's wide. The wider the trail, the better for us, because we're wide. Beautiful. Again, we are in West Virginia. I'm the WooFDriver running 4 Huskies. They're all roughly 9 to 10 years old. The one sitting in the back is 15 years old. She's the only female. She's named Princess. And we've got Chase to my right. I'm the driver, waving my hand. To the right of Chase, behind him to the right, is Jag. And Jim is my co-pilot, which the camera's passing over right now. And Jimmy's waving. Princess is behind him in her throne. The Diva Princess. And that's Zorro. And he's part Malamute, part Husky, about 40% Malamute. And I know that somebody had tuned in. Oh, I did want to... I'll have to tag you, and I apologize. Someone had tuned in from Hawaii and wanted to do a little Skype with me, ask me some questions, and I'm happy to do that. But I've covered a lot of ground here today, so feel free to direct message me on Facebook, any of the channels you're seeing this on, or to leave a message again, and I'll be sure to contact you. I think you said you had 5 Huskies, and you needed an outlet for energy, and you were thinking about some bike-like configuration. And there's many ways to do this, from scooters to bikes to custom-made vehicles that could accommodate the dogs. You hear that, Jim? What is that? It doesn't sound like it's a wheel. It sounds like it's Zorro pulling, but then again, I just heard it now. I don't know, but okay. So we're always on the lookout for unusual bike sounds, because our bikes can break. And we're traveling at a slow enough speed that we wouldn't have any issues. See Jag's doing the trot now, doing the balance. But the bikes can break. What are those cotton things, Jim? I forget. Cocoons?
They call them pen caterpillar.
Pen caterpillar? Kent?
Tent, like little tent.
Oh, tent caterpillars. Interesting. So when you're out here in nature, I mean, I know there's a highway there, don't get me wrong, but you can observe some stuff, and it's interesting. I see that.
Probably going to cause some flames very
So we're making our way up a nice hill. Got a good pace going to climb the hill. Get me steering this in a awkward way, but it's all good. Which way, Jimmy?
straight ahead. I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
To the right. Okay, yep. I mean, I could go down there.
I wouldn't.
No, okay.
Probably the best way we went would be right there.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an incline. I think these rocks will be better.
Let's just take it slow.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm worried about your camera a little bit on the bottom.
Okay, why don't you get in front of me and watch? Tell me when.
There's no cars on this road.
I think I'm better getting off too.
You just go straight across, shortcut it.
Okay, cool.
You all right?
Yep, I'm gonna pull it out a little bit.
I'll help you if you want.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
There's no cars on that road. All right, once he gets through, you
Yep.
make a sharp.
Come on, Zara.
He's all right.
Come on, Zara.
Come
He
on,
feels a little intimidated
He's
because
fine, I got him.
Zara.
He's fine. He's
Good
fine.
boy.
He's fine.
Come on, Zara. It's okay. Good boy.
Good, perfect. No cars on the road. The road's closed.
So, come on, Chase. Chase. Come on. Good boy. Now I'm gonna hop in. It's gonna be easier for me to steer.
You can either make a front right or you can go left.
I think left better. Ready?
Yep.
Come on, guys. Hike. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Good boy, Jack. Good boys. Come on, Zorro. I'll wait for you right up here, Jim. So, doing an exotic trail like this, it really helps having someone to help because just like that, extra help. And because of, when you get there, I'm pointing to this bar. There's a bar in front of Zorro right here for to hold the camera. And Zorro could feel pinned or intimidated getting through some of those narrow ways, especially with that bar. You ready, Jim?
Good, yeah.
But because of his training and my vocal encouragement, he goes through it okay. And he learns, oh, listen to Dad, everything's okay. So you want to guarantee that he's going to be okay. I want to evaluate that situation. I can move that bar, and I didn't even anticipate that. I knew I put it ahead of him, and I knew he couldn't get to it. But when you get to those closed corners, that's what I'm saying. This is not an exact science. I'm pioneering it. And especially with all these bells and whistles with the dogs, it can be challenging. So that's why I enjoy WooFDriving, because I'm discovering the dogs, their reactions, and how to best manage them while giving them what they want. And at the same time, I'm finding creative ways to document this, which is another passion of mine because I want to share it so much and I want to have this memory forever. Now, can you see Princess? She's kind of bouncing around in the back. She's actually feeling pretty good. And might put her down in a little while. She looks like she's see the way it's probably too hard to see. She's moving her mouth almost like she's mumbling. She's trying to smell really hard with her nose and her mouth. And she's getting excited. Pretty cool. So this has been a great trail so far. Hope you're enjoying the views and the commentary by me. Again, we've got a little pinkish hue. Think of it as green for St. Patrick's Day. It's because I'm broadcasting with an infrared camera, and the camera is designed to go at night. It's customized for what I do. The full color camera was, I don't know, woke up on the wrong side of the bed or something. It wasn't properly broadcasting, so I had to switch on the fly, and this is the other camera I had with me. But it kind of gives you a funky view, but unique view. Sometimes some of the colors pop a little better, even though the overall cast is pink. Some of the blue sky appears really blue, and sometimes you get yellows that can appear pretty cool looking. And it depends on the way the sun's hitting it. Jag's doing great. Chase is doing great. Right now you're looking at Chase. Mile marker 5. How far do we go? So that's 4.5. What is that? 4.5? 3.5. Sorry, 3.5 miles. How far does it go? Do you remember?
We started it beyond 2. Remember the
Yep.
mile marker we did was 2? I don't know how far it goes.
I think it's 11 miles, but I could be wrong. Now, this would be a bad trail to ride in the warmer months because I ride all year long. If you can shelter the dogs from the heat, they're loving it. They're getting their exercise. But this would be a bad one to do in the warmer months because you have no shelter and you have blacktop, which gets hot. Too hot for the dogs to be on. Great for a day like today with a cool, brisk breeze blowing and lower temperatures. We're in the 40s now. Might be at 50. If you're ever, I'm going to read a sign to you. It says Kearneysville, Leetown, Route 480 and Route 1. We're in West Virginia. If you're ever near us, by all means, always stop by. Give us a in-person shout out. Meet the dogs, meet the crew, and see what we do. We love to tell about it. We usually don't do any shows because we're so busy running the dogs, and the shows are just not as much fun for them. So I know sometimes meet and greets are cool, but we're really an adventuring team, and I try to use all the time that I have to do adventures with the dogs, and the shows just don't fit that bill. But hopefully, with all the social media out there, you feel like you're in person, especially on a broadcast like this where we're live, where you can get a direct insight and feel like you're riding with me because the camera's kind of cool, bouncing up and down and turning around the rig and giving you a view of the area. If you haven't already, by all means, Google me, WooFDriver on, is that a hawk? Yeah. In Google or any search engine, you can put WooFDriver and you'll see I'm a published author. Got lots of books out there and lots of music about dog training and dogs and lots of fun stuff, creative ideas to share my experiences and the lifestyle I live with the Huskies. Now this might be an area where if we have good signal, I'll stop and read. I might get off here and stop and read this, Jimmy.
Stop here and read this, okay?
Yep, let me see if it says anything interesting. Oh, okay. Oh, guys, just real quick, I like to let everyone know where we're at. Good boys and good girl. Again, we're on the trail. This is Kearneysville Area Historic Properties. Traveler's Rest is the site of pre-Revolutionary War, a 1.5-story limestone dwelling and several log wood frame. The property is listed in the National Register of Historic Places and designated a National Historic Landmark as the home of General Horatio Gates, 1727 through 1806, a major military figure in the Revolutionary War who owned the property from 1773 to 1790. Born in England, Gates became a professional soldier in the British Army and fought in North America during the French and Indian War. In 1773, Gates purchased 659 acres in present-day Jefferson County, upon which he built his still existent 1.5-story limestone house. Based on a mid-18th century survey map and architectural plans drawn up for Gates' new residence, the eastern half of the house was most likely built for the previous owner, John Hyatt, sometime prior to 1753. Gates then added the western wing and renovated the interior of the older eastern section in 1773. The work was performed under the direction of Virginia architect John Arras, who is credited with designing the Neo-Palladian Villa Mount Area, a National Historic Landmark property in Richmond County, Virginia. At the onset of the Revolutionary War, Horatio Gates joined the American cause, being appointed by Congress in 1775 to the position of Adjutant General of the Continental Army. In the post, he drafted the first set of Army regulations. After his promotion to commander of the Army's Northern Department in 1777, General Gates successfully led many campaigns, including capturing nearly 6,000 men at Saratoga in 1777, the first great American victory of the war. This feat earned him a Congressional Gold Medal and a public day of Thanksgiving. In 1780, after his disastrous defeat at the Battle of Camden, South Carolina, Gates lost his command but was returned to active service in 1782 and was stationed in New York for the remainder of the war. In 1790, Gates sold Travelers Rest, moved to New York, the seat of the new federal government, and remained there for the duration of his life. Pretty cool. The Wolfpack's chilling. I'm giving everyone a history lesson. Life is great. Okay, real quickly. Aspendale, West Virginia University Experimental Farm. In 1868, the northern portion of Horatio Gates' Travelers Rest property was sold to brothers Daniel and Edward Getzendaner. Several years later, Daniel Getzendaner, a general farmer and stock raiser, built the current 2-story brick farmhouse, calling the property Aspendale. Blending both Georgian and Greek revival elements, this house represents an uncommon example of a local adaptation of national stylistic influences. In 1930, the West Virginia State Board of Control purchased 158 acres of prime agricultural land from the Aspendale farm, including the house and outbuildings, for use as an experimental farm by West Virginia University, WVU. Since then, Aspendale has continued to function in this capacity, with the farmhouse serving as the residence of the farm manager. Several stone outbuildings surrounding the main dwelling were constructed in the 1940s and 1950s by the Jones family, locally prominent stone masons. The experimental farm provided the university with a research and educational facility for developing pesticides and disease control methods relative to the orchard industry, which has been an important aspect of the Panhandle economy since the 19th century. New cultural varieties have been developed in the WVU experimental farm, including an improved York-type apple. Pretty cool. And it's got a bunch of images, and it's really interesting. You were getting a view of the area there while I was hopefully narrating pretty well, reading the sign, the information. And again, right as I look to the road sign, it says VA Medical Center. So that's how these lands correspond. Now, these buildings they're talking about are beyond the woods. We can't see them here, but be interesting to take a tour of it one day if they let you. So that's how we stop and take a break, folks. And we're about ready to move on. You ready, Jimmy?
Ready.
So my motor cuts off to conserve battery. All I got to do is fire it back up. Come on, guys, hike and head out. So that's interesting, and that's a shared canine mankind enjoyment. We get a little bit of history. We let the dogs relax a little bit, build up a little anticipation. As you heard Chase whining. If you stop, he whines because he just wants to keep going, and he wants to move at a little bit quicker pace than we're going. But because of the conditions and Jag, I talked about his shorter stride, if you will, because he's got short legs, short paws. We are not going to air it out yet. We will if we put Jag up or we get to the right conditions. but we still can keep a pretty healthy pace, and I can pick it up a little bit. I'm good, thanks. So I hope you are enjoying the show. I love stopping and reading the history of the area and understanding. I mean, it's pretty, 1700s, a long time ago for our country, for the United States. Dogs are doing really good. And I'm kind of liking this trail. I usually don't like trails. Jaggy's bouncing a little, picking up a pace. I usually don't like trails that parallel highways because of all the highway pollution, but noise and the view of the cars and everything, it's not as scenic. But it's kind of cool because we're getting a lot of hills and valleys, climbing these hills, good exercise for the dogs, and we're getting some history with it. And the trail couldn't be better with the well-kept blacktop and wide area. And a nice sturdy fence against the highway makes everybody feel secure. I've had people damn near run into me because they're watching us, they've never seen anything like what we do, and they get distracted. It's easy to get distracted when you drive, and they'll probably never see anything like this again, so they're trying to get all the looks in they can. So I'm very careful when I'm not behind a fence or a barrier and roads are close by. And we've gotten a few of it. Wheel feels like it's shaking a little or something. The wheel feels like it's shaking. Are we still straight? I don't know. I just felt some movement. How about your wheels in the back? Okay. Is that a person up ahead? Oh, okay. Cool. Might be. She's getting pretty antsy back there. Yeah, I might do that. I was waiting. Let's give him some water up here, and I'll put her down, and I'll read the sign. I think I hear the bearings in this wheel. Bearings are what helps the wheel spin and stay on track, and they need to be replaced every so we do. We have to maintain these bikes because. Okay. So we're up here, and we're going to do a water break, and I'll read the sign. Pull over. Sled dog command. Yep. Okay, buddy. I'm going to put Princess down. Boy. Let me get her down first, Jimmy. He's got plenty of room, doesn't he? So, again, she's hooked on a 3-point system here. The harness hooks up to a specially designed seat that has 3 straps that are hooked to the harness. Okay, good girl. Put her down just like that. She looks like she wants to be part of the team for a little bit. Good girl. Okay, buddy. Once he passes, you can water. So Jim's going to do a watering of the dogs. While he's watering them, I'll read to you. So we're at we're at the West Virginia Route 9, Charleston to Martinsburg Trail. And this is still historic properties like we were talking about. Okay, so Shepherdstown and Smithfield Turnpike Toll House, the John Fox House, otherwise known as. Immediately west of Relham Farm is a mid-19th century log dwelling, and the only known surviving toll house on Old Shepperton and Smithfield Turnpike, presently known as Leetown Pike. The turnpike was completed in 1826, being the first toll road of its kind in the Valley region of Virginia. This toll house was constructed around 1864. An artist's earlier rendering of the nearby toll house on Charlestown Pike shows that a standard plan for 6 hours of engagement, federal forces retreated northward. Confederates pursued them to the Potomac River, resulting in a 5-mile-long running battle between Bower Road and the B&O Railroad at Kearneysville to Shepherdstown. No casualty records from the battle exist except for several generals' reports. Skirmishes and battles acted out in Jefferson County during the Civil War, as the nearby arsenal at Harper's Ferry and its proximity to Washington, D.C. contributed to the county's strategic military needs. The Kearney represented a turning point in the Confederate push to re-enter Maryland and Pennsylvania during the latter portion of the Shenandoah Valley campaign. That's really cool and interesting stuff. So I'm going to keep reading because this is fun. Dogs are getting a break. Chase is whining because he wants to go, but it's all good, and they're getting water. And we're doing the double water as I talked about. So Relham Farm, Abraham S. Miller House. Relham Farm, Turner's daughter, Mary Susan. And in an important orchard farm producing apples and quince in the orchard and rural historic landscape. Finally, I'm going to talk about Sunnyside Farm. That's the fifth picture. Dairy industry by its owner, William Falk, shown on the right in circa 1914 photograph. I know you can't see that, folks, sorry. Falk is also significant for its colonial revival, which is also colonial revival architecture. William Falk, dairy industry, helping to establish the Kearneysville Creamery in 1913. The creamery produced its own ice and milk and was considered at the plant and was condensed at the plant and sold to ice cream factories in Cumberland and Hagerstown, Maryland. After a boiler system was added for pasteurization, fresh milk, cream, and butter also. So pretty cool stuff. Okay, buddy, you want to read? Sorry. Yeah. Howdy. Again, a nice break, and it got Princess down. Now, I don't know how far she'll go because, again, she's been working like a real trooper. I mean, she's just been doing so much. We had 5 miles yesterday. We had 5 miles on Saturday, which, if you're watching this in the future, that was the day before. Within the past 3 days, she's had 10 miles. So, by letting her down, it gives her a break from sitting, even if we're only standing still, and we'll see how far she goes. If she goes a block, if she goes 5 miles, that's all great. Dogs have been watered. Are you getting an idea of how far we got?
According to what I read on my cell phone, it's 8.1 miles.
Okay.
So
okay, cool.
We got like 4 more miles to go.
Okay. And that's good. We might want to put Princess and Jag up down there and do a little bit come back. 'Cause there were some cross points. Oh, well, we're not going to go more than 4 miles. We'll see what's down there. Okay. So, Jim, we got about 4 miles to. You ready? Motors off. Okay, guys, hike. So we're gonna go at a little slower pace because we've got Princess down. And she's pulling all the way to the side because she wanted to smell that post. So, again, she might not have much in her, but we always give her the opportunity, and this gives her a chance to stretch. Thanks. I'm gonna go to my right, you think? Come on, guys. Yeah, Princess can like the pace. I was going a little fast for her. Yeah, in this area. Yeah, she's, come on, pretty. She wants to get back in her seat, Jim. Oh, no, she's coming around. Come on. Understand the princess. She's the diva. Oh. Okay. He's good. Howdy. See, when you feel the slightest bit of resistance, I double check dogs because either the wheel's stuck somewhere or the dogs might be doing a bathroom break or their cord might be caught up, anything of the sort. You can see Princess has a mind of her own. When she wants to control the ride, she just moves over. Come on, good girl. Come on, good girl. She roughly got a mile in, which surprised me from the previous day's activities because she's engaged so much. But the more active you are with these dogs, I always say be careful what you wish for, because if you're training your husky just like a person, you build up. So, you know, if they do 3 miles, a couple days later, it might be ready to do 4 or 5 miles. A couple days later, 6 or 7. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. But that's why if you can't do as many miles, you can't spend the time, you could change the workout. If you're used to doing so many miles and you can't do as many because of your time, work, whatever, your schedule, you can shorten the ride and just go up, make it a hilly ride, or make it a quick ride by going faster. So there's all different ways to help them purge their power once they understand how to ride on the bike, and that usually can be taught within a couple days. Teaching a husky to pull or to run with a bike is second nature for them, so there's not much to teach. It's just letting them know it's okay, and the different sounds more or less of the bike and how the wheels look to them, because that's a little unusual. Running in front of a sled is easier because they're not they don't have to be intimidated by sounds of a bike and the different gears and the electric motor, even though it's quiet, and the chain and all that stuff. Should I go way over? What are you thinking, Jim?
You probably can go between the stop sign and the pole. I don't know. I only wondered what's the other side till we get there.
Yep. I think I'm going to go this way. Come on, guys.
Looks like you can go around to the left. I'm not sure.
I'm going to ride right.
Can't go right. On the other side.
Come on, guys.
When we get out.
Not yet.
When we get out.
I don't know. What do you think? I think I can make it.
Up to this car.
Yep. Come on, guys. Hike.
I think you can go to the left a little bit.
Yep.
Yep. Everybody's good.
Come on, guys.
Nice job, Billy.
Thank you, bud.
Good job.
Thank you. So, this thing's not the easiest thing to steer because of the length of it. Come on, pretty. Come on, pretty. You're going to go my pace. I'll stay with you. Come on, pretty. She's deciding, do I want to go or don't I? Come on, good girl. Now, I'm not even going a half a mile per hour. Come on. Come on, good girl. Come on, good girl. Come on, good girl. Come on, good girl. Okay, she's done. You got the brake?
We did.
Oh, yeah. She's tired. She's taking a good girl. See, this is her safety zone back here. And she's like, I'm done. But no, she popped out then, too. I'm going to try her one more time because she popped out pretty quick. She goes back there. That means she wants to get back on her seat. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on, good girl. Good girl. Come on, good girl. Look at her. She's still going. Come on, good girl. Come on. See how much I'm slowing down? I'm barely moving just to re-engage her. So awesome. Now we've had some pretty heavy activities the past few days, so we'll probably take a breather tomorrow and be back at it on Thursday. Six, Jim. Mile marker 6. That's 4.5. Come on, pretty girl. Come on, pretty girl. She just made it up that hill, which is awesome. And she's still engaged. Come on, pretty girl. She's good right there. Oh, she's still going. See, I'm like spoon feeding her. But this is what I do to get her exercise in. Now, if she didn't have 2 heavy days of, oh, look at her nails, she's engaged. A mile and a half in. Come on, good girl. Come on, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Grass to my left because I'm real close to it, and just smelling those animal smells. That the grass again is more porous, the ground holds sense of other dogs coming along and or other animals marking it, whatever. And she's like, oh yeah, that excites me, they could be around here. Good girl. She's still going, Jim.
Like you said, its disposition was on it.
Yep. And people don't understand that. And come on, good girl.
She's so headstrong. She can't do it.
Come on, good girl.
She's a tough cookie.
She wants to control the scene, so she She's stopping for a sec. Okay, come on. Hike. Loves that grass. She's gonna mark it. Nope, she, yep, Zara was. Come on. I knew she was getting ready to mark it. Good girl. That's what you wanted to do. That's. Come on, guys, hike. So I coaxed about an extra, so far, third of a mile out of her. And again, she's not struggling. She's just, part of that is mind over matter, and part of that is she's tired. But if she can do it, we want to give her the opportunity. Come on, good girl. Come on, good girl. When she moves her head around the tire, that means, come on, good girl. She's done. Okay. You got it, Jim? Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Come on. Come on. You're a good girl. Okay, so now I put her back up in the seat. Chase wants to go, but I'll be able to roll. So that's almost a mile and 3/4 or so for her. Good girl. Pick her up just like that. And after she's been standing, sometimes it takes a second for her to sit because of her arthritis. It's okay, good girl. So I just stay back here with her. Good girl. Let her get comfortable. And then I'll get her to sit. Okay, Brittany. Now, I'm going to help her sit. It's okay, good girl. Sit. Good girl. Now I can hook her up. She's not fully sitting yet, but she's close. There she goes. Good girl. See, all this is work for her at her age, but it's healthy work. Good girl. It's okay, good girl. I had to move her paw inside of the chair. Oh, she'll yell at me. Are you kidding? She's the queen. Good girl. Just checking her, make sure she's secure. And she is good girl. And we're back at it, folks. Okay, Jimmy. We set?
Brakes on.
Okay, hike. So I know some people say, well, why do you get her to do that? Why do you make her do that? First of all, I'm not making her do anything. What I'm doing is making sure she can get exercise in to maintain her health and her mobility in her joints. And Princess, being dominant as she is, always like that. Oh, they turned around. Will also want to control the situation. And she's done this ever since I've run her. Yep. That she'll kind of fade behind the bike a little bit to get me to stop, just to control the situation. She might want to mark the area. She might want to just know she's got the power to do that. That's how Huskies roll. And you have to understand that about her and keep coaxing her along to keep rolling. Otherwise, you'll put her up in the chair and she'll have a lot of piss and vinegar still in her and she won't have gotten her exercise in. So it's not like a person. I mean, sometimes people need coaching too, but, you know, person has some reasonability. Dogs aren't like that. So we got to understand them for their health. So it was a good experience, and squeeze a little bit more out of her. All I get in her, I feel like, is just helping with her longevity and health. And she's tired. Now, if she wants to lay down back there, she can. But she's so amped up because we never know what we're going to run into. Animals gets more energy, she'll start bouncing like you might have seen her earlier to the left and right of the bike, to see around this side, to see around the other side, to see what the dogs are doing. I see that. I'm wondering how.
I'm hoping we got a bike on it.
So far, it's been good to us. We're trying to hope there's a wide enough area that we can make it through without having to take the dogs off and some of the equipment, because we're pretty wide. But this was a wide trail. To the left?
Very left, I think.
Yep. I think I'm going to let you get off here, Jim.
Yep, I'm hoping it's a bike trail up there, so you gotta let me
Well, it says bike route, yeah.
research it.
Yep. I'll work on getting up to you.
Yes, take time.
Okay. So Jim just got off to manage the weight and also scope out where we're going. Come on, guys. Hike. Without Jim, I can be a lot more powerful. The motor's more powerful to make it up here. It doesn't have the load of him because we're on the grass right now. Remember, this bike usually has 2 motors. Right now, it only has 1. So it's a little bit handicapped.
Hey, stay away to the right.
Come on, guys.
Just on the other side of the road, see it?
I see it.
Just go ahead, don't worry about me.
Am I good? So we're going under some bridges. It's kind of cool if you get to see this. And we're on some loose gravel, which is perfectly fine for the dogs. But I want to make to keep the weight out of here, his extra weight. Got a car coming. And they're zipping around here pretty quick. Wait, what do you think? Tell me when. Go? Okay. How about to, oh, really? Okay. No. Good? Come on, guys. Hike. Getting across some of these roads is not the easiest thing to do. Come on, guys. Hike. Hike. Come on. Hike. I'll make it to the top of the hill. Cool. I think I see some mountains in the distance. Here's another historical sign, but I don't stop and read them all because the dogs won't have any of that. But I've read a couple along the way, and I hope you got a chance to take it in. Kind of interesting. I'm just climbing to the hill a little bit, and then I'll wait for Jimmy. Boys, easy, ho. So, all good. Check out. Now I take a view of the bike, make sure everything looks good. And right now we're looking great. Dogs are looking great. I think we're at the, I don't have my watch on today. That's, all this technology, and I don't have my odometer. Sorry about that. I think we're roughly 5.5 miles into this, or close to it. I think it's a scheduled 8-mile run. Could be wrong. That's how long the trail is. And what we might do there is let Princess and Jag into the truck and run some high speed on the just for a couple miles or so. What mile marker have we passed? Okay, because I'm thinking we go to 8, right? Maybe Chris could pick us up there.
Well, you can pick us up there, but the one behind us had a parking lot.
Okay.
The one almost to 5.
Okay.
Between 6 and 5 had a parking lot. Remember?
Yep.
But it don't matter. Whatever you say, boss.
Okay, buddy. Tell me when you're in.
I'm in. Okay. Let's go.
Here we go, folks. Hike.
I just put it on my phone. May not even be true. Maybe something else. We're going.
So this is wide open area into the onto the highway. But again, it's been a relatively cool trail for something parallel on the highway. I like to do almost every trail I can find new that I haven't done, and I enter them all into my website called dogfriendlytrails.com. That website was featured in the Susquehanna Life magazine. Susquehanna Life is a local magazine in the Pennsylvania region because the Susquehanna River is one of the big rivers in that part of Pennsylvania. And it's a nature outdoor magazine, activity related. And they had, they featured, what's up, Jim? Oh, okay. They featured an article on me, actually, and the website. And they were interested because I've done so many Pennsylvania trails, and they wanted to know more about the trails I've done and my favorite trails and how I urban mush. That's what I call wolf driving's a form of urban mushing. And for those of you that don't know, urban mushing is running dogs on unconventional dog sleds on wheels, basically, like scootering with dogs and running them on a bike like I'm doing, and even skateboard if you tether them to them, whatever. So that's what we call urban mushing, and usually you have people that do it that live in more populated areas, like the areas where we're at, usually on the east coast of the United States, not in the far out areas of like Alaska, where you would see more traditional mushers. Got a bathroom break, Jimmy? So Chase is doing his thing. Good boy, Chase. Yep, please. So that's urban mushing if you look it up on the internet. Now, my style of urban mushing is a little different. This kind with the dogs on the side, I can go to more populated trails with trail traffic because the dogs are on a short tether. They're not out in front, and I can stop them the same time that I'm stopping, and I can keep an eye on them a little better. I have a little better control of them maybe with them on my side. And it also enables them not having to pull at all. So an older dog like Princess or another breed of dog could easily run on this kind of configuration at the side. Come on, guys. Hike. So I hope the camera's giving you good views. I know it's a little pinked out, but it's kind of cool. We're seeing some tree lines to my right, highway to my left. Distance that I saw, the camera probably won't pick that up yet. Just coming into view. And Jack's funny the way he runs. Sometimes he'll hang way back, sometimes he'll hang way up front, where he'll want to run alongside with Chase. That's his bloodline cousin, actually. They're the only ones that are truly blood relatives in my wolf pack. So Jag sometimes will want to be all the way up or want to be all the way back, but he's really controls his tether well, so I give him a lot of lead. He can go pretty much anywhere he wants, and it makes him feel comfortable that he can go all the way up, he can hang all the way back, slacking his line however he wants to do it.
like them cherry orchards.
The cherry orchards to our right?
The old cherry orchards they were talking
Yeah.
about in that thing.
So if you were with us a few minutes ago, a little ways back, I should say, they were talking about some cherry orchards, and this was one of the last remaining working cherry orchards back in the 1800s or something along those lines. And it looks like they're right to my right of us now. Some big turkey buzzards overhead. Turkey buzzards are kind of discard roadkill, for lack of a better description. And they eat the dead carcasses from that are out in nature. They're the cleanup crew. Princess is popping around in the back. See, she's not tired enough to lay down in her seat right now, but she is, so she's alert and engaged enough to be curious. Curious is always good with a dog. That's what you want for training. You want them to be curious. You want them to be inquisitive. You want them to desire. So you can take that and use it to effectively train them to keep their attention. You know, with a husky, as I was saying, it's a lot harder because their attention span is pretty limited to their instincts. Investigate it, and that's what they're focused on. But if you can use that focus, that laser-like focus, to work with your training, you can access a part of them that few are able to access, and you can really have effective training with them. But it starts with first tiring them out. They have to know they can get rid of their energy. It's just instinctual for them.
There you are, historic orchard area. Look at that.
So Jimmy was right. Historic orchard area. Pretty cool. Coming on a mile marker here, Jim.
227.
What's this, an 8-mile trail?
That's what my phone said, and may not have been true.
I think it's true. We're crossing mile marker 7 right now. We started at roughly 1.5 miles. We couldn't start at the beginning. They were doing construction. So we've got roughly 5.5 miles in. Princess has about 1 3/4. And the speed limit says 65. That's for the highway next to us. I'm WooFDriver. If this is the first time you're joining us on a live broadcast, welcome. I broadcast pretty frequently, and you can catch all my broadcasts in chronological order on my WooFDriver Live Facebook channel. And you can go back and peruse through there and catch free ranging we do, which is off leash activities or roaming and rummaging with the huskies through farm areas that I have, leased farm areas, and I use electric ATV to keep up with them and to challenge them, and I use Garmin Alpha 100 GPS collar systems to communicate with the dogs and to track them, keep track of them and their position. Also, I do a sport called lure coursing. Since I've set that channel up, I don't believe there's any live videos on there, but there will be soon. Lure coursing, I can only do certain times of the year when we don't have snow on the ground. It's a kind of a prey-driven chase activity that the dogs engage. It's actually designed for sight hounds because they hunt with their vision, and the lure is plastic. It has no scent. So most other dogs that hunt with scent can only follow it for a little while. But some of my huskies enjoy it. I recommend it for other breeds to try. There's places that have lure courses set up that you can engage, or you can rent an area, kind of like a batting cage, so many laps, so many minutes, etc. Most dogs, a lure course is typically 3 to 5 acres. Most dogs can do it once or twice and tires them out. The huskies can do it all day long, so it's totally different than what it was designed for, but it's an activity they enjoy, some of them, and it's an event we do, and the dogs that aren't as into it just chill and do whatever they want on the course. Sometimes there's goats on the course, We're in a old horse pasture we do it on. This looks a little complicated.
Yeah, figure it out in a minute. Looks like they're not too awful close. You probably could just go through them.
Yeah, I think you're right. Watch my cameras.
Doing me off?
No, that might be a temporary
I
thing.
think you're doing good, bud. Go ahead. Watch it, whatever.
Zara, no, he's over there. Let me
Yeah,
take
I'll push it forward.
KZ, man. Boys, look at that. Look at how they do.
Move that way a little bit so you
Got a bike rider behind us. Hang on, let them go around. Boy, Zorro. Let me just grab him for a sec.
How do you choose who gets to ride in the booth there?
Well, we flip a coin.
It's the same name, my guy.
I know. Hey. Have a great day. Thank you. Look at this tight area. Come on, Zara. Good boy, Jag. Good boy. He knows.
Watch yourself now, bud. You want me to get off?
Yeah, because I can't see beyond that bridge. The curve of it. Where's Zaro? Where am I going? Okay, so we don't have the luxury here. Watch the dogs. Watch how cool. Come on, Chase. Oh, come. Come on. He usually comes.
Feeding. They feed on that thing. That's why.
Come on.
We'll make it afterwards, Bill.
Yep.
We'll make it afterwards.
Nope. He wants to pee. Hang on. Let him go. Oh, come. Nope. Now guide him.
Come on. This way.
Good boy, Chase. How's Jag?
Go ahead.
Jag. Good boy. Okay, buddy. So, you see how the dogs work. Sometimes they want to go. Dogs, like people, will take the path of least resistance. And if they think it's easier the other way, come on, guys, they're going to go the other way. So with them being tethered to the bike, they can't always do that. And that's why we have to direct them. But they're pretty good how they maneuver through there. Now, if you took a dog that hasn't done this before, or not familiar with it, getting them around those bollards, those gate keepers, if you will, and wedging them in a tight spot is really unusual and awkward. So it's not something they readily take to, and it's only because of all the different trails we've been on and good training. I'm not trying to toot my own horn there, but that's what we do to really get them comfortable with the situation. And that gives them confidence through other situations. Now, once in a while, you know, if they go on the other side and you gently are pull them around the right way, that's how they learn. Oh, I got to be on the side. But never trust them 100% to just go full speed. That's why if it's a tight situation like that, I always take my time. We're running really good. According to what we know, we have less than a mile to go, and that's when we would put Jag and Princess up and do some quick miles with the boys, being Chase and Zorro. But we'll see how they feel. So I'll be able to tell if they're tired, if they've had enough, or if they want to run some more. They might be tired because we've had some pretty good days. If we had 2 or 3 days rest in between this run, well, Princess would be more engaged, and Jag would be probably wanting to do more too. So that's when I would run them all a little further and then let Chase and Zorro air it out. Now Chase is whining a little because he probably picked up on the scent of an animal. There's a wooded area next to it, next to us. He probably picked up on the scent of an animal in there, and that gets Chase excited. Princess is already doing her bouncing, where she's going from left to right so she can see the right side of the dogs, the left side of the dogs. Her curiosity keeps her engaged and just helps with her health. So she wants to be a part of everything, and that motivates her. Is that a fence too? No, it's power lines. So this trail has been really manageable, even on the big wide bike we're on. Remember, I've got narrower ones for different situations, but it's making it really easy to maneuver through here because they're so wide, the different bollards to gate areas. Because there are a fair amount of road crossings. And the roads have been relatively fairly tame. We haven't had any issues crossing them, thank God. Looks nice down here, bud. Yep, I will. Passing the historic sign, I read a couple earlier. If you weren't with us, you could go back and see once I post the video, once it posts itself, I should say, and see some of the history from where we're at. Great trail, though. I'm really amazed at how well maintained this is. The blacktop's in perfect shape. G over. It's just a command to let them know I'm going to the right because I'm gently going. What do you think? You should get off? Okay. No, I'm not in any hurry. You think the right side's better than the left side, Jimmy?
It doesn't really make any difference. I think the left side's better.
Yeah, I do too. A little flatter. Hike. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, man. Easy, guys. Come on, guys. Easy. Come on, hike. No chase. Okay, come on, guys. Sometimes you hear that beeping. That's just my walkie-talkie. I'm leaning over while I'm maneuvering through there, and it's causing it to beep. Again, we carry walkie-talkies with us to communicate with each other in case Jim, my co-pilot, would have to get ahead of me or behind me or whatever, even if he would have to take a dog off and walk a dog, as well as Chris when he's our tour coordinator and he's in our vehicle. He following us on the trail through software, through Glimpse or Find a Friend, if you will, on iPhone. And we can contact him. Usually it's got about a mile range in an area like this, maybe 2. So if we had a situation, we could try to contact him through there. If we didn't have cell service, we also have a satellite communicator on board in case we have no service. And we go to some pretty remote areas, so that's not that uncommon. So that's the whining of the highway, if you can hear that. I don't know if you can, but sounds like a little bit like a siren. And if you ever notice that some dogs, my dogs do, will howl with sirens. So if there's a fire engine or maybe a police car goes by, especially when they're not engaged in a working activity like they are here, they're likely to howl with it because it sounds like an animal in distress. And they just howl along with it to let what they would think instinctually, the animal know they're in the area and make them aware of their presence. It's pretty interesting. Got a little tidbit WooFDriver information here. Been a great trail, Jim.
Yeah.
I love these gates. They let you go around them like that.
It's pretty nice, even the ones you gotta go through.
Yeah.
We are losing that wheel over there. But,
This one?
yeah. It ain't real bad yet. It's wobbling.
It is wobbling.
Making noise and wobbling. Needs to be same thing. Needs bearing clean. Somebody said we ought to do all four of them, remember?
You said that right off the bat. Always turn around. If I can't see Princess in the one mirror, I just turn around, make sure she's still doing well back there. When she's sitting up, which she does most of the time, it's actually work for her too, believe it or not. So, that's why sometimes I'll put her up in the truck, because she'll lay down in there and get some rest, more rest than she does here. She's still excited and stimulated by what we're doing, even though she's not down there running with her team.
I don't see the trail, bro.
I don't either. I don't see it anywhere, bud.
I think this must be the end.
You think it would tell you,
Mile
wouldn't?
marker 8, that's the end. See the 8?
Yeah.
2 mile marker there?
Yeah, where's our boy?
Well, I don't guess he's here. So,
He's got me on glimpse.
Well, we got to make contact with him, and
Yep.
what we ought to do, Billy,
Yeah.
is run back there another 3 miles back to that. And it's 2.5 miles between that mile marker 5 and 6. That's where the parking lot was, if you remember the parking lot.
Yeah. Well,
I
let's.
didn't get the name of the road, but I don't see him anywhere.
Crispy, are you there? Crispy, are you there? You want to text him, Jimmy?
Yeah. I'm gonna say.
Folks, this is a good time from. Whoops. Yep. Just gonna roll forward a little bit. It's a good time to catch up if anybody's leaving any comments or anything on the live feed. We're 2 hours and 31 minutes into this, and we've done 8 miles. Okay. This is time to gives the dogs a breather.
Okay, we're at the end of the trail. We're doing about 8 miles. What we'd like to do is turn around and go back to in between mile marker 5 and mile marker 6. There was a parking lot to pick us up. But between 6 and 5, we're at 8. 8 is the end of the trail. It dead ends into like a highway, but rather than pick us up here, we'd rather go the 2 more miles and turn around, and it's about 2.5 miles back to. It's between 5 and 6, and there's an access, there's a parking lot there. Is that okay with you? Can you find it all right? Okay, so we're turning around now. We should be there in probably a half an hour. See ya. Okay, Captain?
Yep.
Is that a good plan?
Yep. Let me just. Let's give him some water, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, looking for any comments. Anybody wants to shout out or has any comments about what we're doing? Love to answer them and mingle with you online here. We got 2 comments. Hello, Cheryl. Saw them. Sorry, folks, I'm paying attention. Everyone just checking out online. How the situations are going. Okay. Everybody looks like they're enjoying the show, and I appreciate that. Okay, we got some comments here. So, don't know if you guys are still watching, but Debbie and Doran, yes, Princess is trying. Yes, it is. It's not that she's so tired, but tiredness is part of it. Some of it's attitude, and some of it just is her body because she's older. Jim Bike's coming forward a little. You got it, bud?
I mean, Chase wants to drive.
So, yeah, but she's got the right idea. Someone says that for a little. Andrew, hi, Andrew. Andrew's a good friend and works closely with me on the WooFDriver pit crew team. He's part of the Presidential Pet Museum. So, Andrew says Princess has the right idea. Ride along with the hashtag, and she sure does. Yep, she's doing great. She's loving it. TW Combs, first time watching. Is this something you made or did you buy it? Actually, it's a conglomeration of ideas and engineering feats. I work with a team out in Utah that builds bikes, recumbent bikes, if you will, and we collaborated together and we designed this dog vehicle. Now, we've been doing this for, I've been doing this for about 25 years. We designed the first one, I'm going to say, about 15 years ago, and this is one of the latest. Bike rider, yep. This has got actually four-wheel drive, so it's got two motors. It's pedal assist. It's legal for the bike trails. Yeah, she thinks you're calling her too, where's Jim? She's fine. Just watch the bike don't roll. So, howdy. Thank you so much. Have a great day. So, if you want more information, go to my website, WooFDriver.com, and you can see the whole array of bikes that I've built. I like to consider myself of trying almost any vehicle that you could logically use to work with the dogs in this capacity, from scooters to the bikes you see here to regular bikes, etc. And I've done this in, I use electric because the electric actually assists, and it gives us the unique ability to go to trails all over the place. So even if the trail is not as level as some of the trails you might imagine, the rail trails that we travel, it actually cooperates with the bikes because I have all the power in the motors and the pedals. Princess is getting a drink on the back. How cool is that? So that's why I do this, though, in this capacity, because Princess, being over 15 years old, has the ability to run with us when she wants to. We're usually rolling at a walking to trotting pace, and unless I've got just Chase and Zorro, who are the fastest dogs, and they're about the same height, so they can move, their stride is pretty similar. Jag's a lot shorter. He's short for a husky, so he's got smaller legs. He's just as physically fit as they are, but when you go fast like they do, he can't keep up with the stride, and it takes more energy, and he won't be able to keep in front as much, keep ahead of his toe line. So I'm balancing the different speeds of the dogs, and you can hear Chase whining now because he wants to go, but we're taking a break here, mainly for the other dogs and mainly for the watering. But he's like, he's not going to have none of it. When a dog's working, they want to keep going. They're a very one-track mind, and they want to complete the task at hand. That's the way they think and the way they navigate situations. So pretty cool stuff. But go to my website, WooFDriver.com, and you'll see all about it. And you can put it in the feed. You can message me, whatever, if you have any other questions that I can answer for you. And I can also put you in touch with the people. They'll make custom bikes. I think they still do. They were gearing up to do large production runs for other companies they're working with. But let me know. Marcy Hall. Hello, Marcy. How are you? Great to see you. She says, looks like Princess is making sure those boys stay on the trail. She sure is. Look at her up at Jimmy. She wants some attention from Jimbo. They sure are, Marcy. She's a dominant girl, and she knows her team, and she keeps them in line. Finally, Roger Castillo. Hello, Roger. He says, be safe out there. Thank you so much, Roger. I appreciate it. So we're broadcasting in a kind of funky color today. Think of it as green from St. Patty's Day, but it's actually pink because this camera you're looking at is for infrared, for nighttime video shoots. A lot of this cameras and equipment is custom made for me too. And my full color camera was acting a little bit funky today. So we got a funky view, but kind of cool. Kind of gives you a different perspective. And maybe you can see some details that you wouldn't see with a normal colored lens. So with that being said, I'm going to put the phone down, and actually Chicks is taking a breather here too. So how far we got to go, Jim?
1.5 miles.
We're going to turn the puppy around.
It looks like you can make one big swing.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. So right now,
I'm out.
this way?
Yep.
Okay.
I tried. We'll be close when it's back up a little bit.
Okay, so this is how you make a 3-point turn in a dog cart. Haul, guys, haul over, haul. So since the trail goes straight, I'm telling them haul because haul, come around. Haul, come around. Haul, come around. That's a sled dog command. Come around when they do a U-turn like I just did. Good boys. See how adorable this bike is and capable with the tire tread you see and the size of the tire going off-road. Come on, guys. So that's how you do a U-turn in a dog-powered go-kart. That's what I call these bikes. In case you haven't heard me before, seen my verbiage. I'm going to put my gloves on. It's just a little nippy out here with the wind blowing and the sun getting a little lower in the sky. Dogs are loving it. Oh, you're in. You got in quiet, Jim. I didn't even know. Thank you. Okay, guys, we ready? Hike. So usually we've got to make that like a 12-point turn when you're in a dog cart. At least when you're in this dog cart. This bike is over 10 feet long. So the turning radius is not existent, basically. Very limited. And what I need to do is usually teach the dogs the reverse command, basically. Teaching them to back up, which they understand. And they'll just gently turn around and go in the other direction, because we get to tight situations that we've had to turn around in, and even if we have to take them off. By the way, that's why I'm wearing this orange vest. I know you can't tell, it looks pink today, but it's actually orange. It's a hunter's vest, but it's unique because it's got straps on it that wrap around my legs that harness me in, because if I hook all the dogs to me, they could take me for a ride, and they could easily snap any hook on the vest if it wasn't harnessed in properly, if I wasn't harnessed in. So it's built for what I do, and it's got ways, after I've customized it, of attaching the dogs to it, and it's also got many pockets for the electronics I carry and dog equipment, etc. And I can hook them right to it if we would get to a situation. We've come up to where, for instance, a trail might end all of a sudden and you have to walk over a set of steps, or you got to ride back a couple miles to the next road entry. Well, we'll walk over the steps. Jimmy sometimes we'll call Chris in and they'll get the bike over, but I'll take the dogs with me on the vest, because it's a lot path of least resistance. It's a lot easier to do than to go back the 3 miles we came. Now we're riding back now because we've only done realistically 6.5 miles. And the dogs, even on a day like today, can do an easy 10 miles. We'll probably get about 9 in now. And you can see Jag's pepped up. And again, that's why he's on a little bit longer of a leash than the other boys and Princess because he runs a little differently. He feels more comfortable with that freedom. So we give it to him. What we love about dogs is they all have their own individual personalities. All dogs. So learning their personality and understanding it is instrumental in training them and living in harmony with them. You can see Princess is still, she's got a lot of pep in her still. Not enough to get down and roll anymore. Though the last half a mile I might put her down and see if she wants to do any. But I'm guessing she won't, but I always like to give her the opportunity. And I like to end with her, even if I pull up to where we're ending and put her down and attach her to the bike just so she can feel like she ended with us. It does something for her, I think, psychology. A little colder, we're riding into the wind, buddy. Dogs like that, not me. No, it's okay. That's why I put the gloves on. What's so great about the Husky breed, at least for me? Really? You think that's... Bike rider. I see him. I'm going to go to the grass anyway. To the right. Yeah, I think you should get out. Yep. Let's keep it going, buddy. Hike. What's nice is with the design of this bike too. No, not yet. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. Have a great day. Good? Which way, Jim? Yep. Jim might have a different perspective than me. Come on, guys. G over. G over. I'm going to get to the top of the hill. I like asking him which way because even though I did it on the way back, on the way coming here, because of his perspective when he's standing and looks a lot different. Remember, what I was saying is because we're low down, it's really nice for the weight distribution. For Princess who's in the back, she's not making us top heavy. If we were sitting up high like a normal bike and I had Princess up there, that would be top heavy, therefore problematic. In danger of tipping possibly, believe it or not. So her being there with the bike still relatively low to the ground, that's what most recumbent bikes, that's what this is designed from, are relatively low to the ground. So a person can recline essentially as they pedal. Supposedly it's better for the knees and back. As we age, that helps people. So that's why recumbent bikes are popular with aging people, elderly people like myself. But luckily I don't have those knee and back problems. Why I like a recumbent bike is it puts me low down with the dogs. The added advantage of being low down is when you add some considerable weight to it, like Princess, who's actually sitting higher than we are, it doesn't tip the weight. And we couldn't put her any lower down. It would be harder. We'd have to redesign it. So everything works together with physics to keep us well balanced. And some of that is afterthought. Come on, guys, hike. Like when we built this a few years back, and Princess wasn't riding in the back, and we didn't have any plans. You know, if we had a dog that couldn't run anymore, we put him in the seat and the person would walk. But as Princess got older and I saw she could run partially, but she needs a big resting area, it was really nice to have her be able to have a platform like we built there. And because the bike lends itself, because it's low down, to having her weight elevated as it is, higher in the air, I'm saying, it poses no risk of tipping. Even when I go on a lopsided area, like when I was lopsided climbing that hill. Now that woman, she said we should be in the front page of the newspaper. She wanted to take our picture, but she didn't have her camera phone or something. But yeah, we get looks like that, and people really interested in what we're doing. It's truly a sight to see, and I love being creative, and again, finding ways for the dogs to be able to use their instinct and what they were born and bred to do, and fit it into everyday life for the area I live, and most people. Because today, you know, we're mostly around populated areas where you can't just take a sled dog team and put them out to mush. So a smaller team like this can be great family companions and get exercise on modern day, with modern day methods. You're looking at Chase. Again, if you're just tuning in, I know, you know, some people say, well, the dog's limping. It's their gait. Nobody's limping here. Sometimes they look a little awkward because of the camera view. The camera's spinning, it's going in and out, and the lens is extremely wide. Not to mention today we're doing a pink broadcast. Princess is in her throne, in her seat. She did roughly 1.75 miles. We've had some heavy exercise, so we knew she'd be a little limited in her capacity today, but we wanted to bring her along. I wanted to bring her along, and I wanted to give her the opportunity to stretch her muscles and get a little bit of whatever activity level she could in. If you saw me, I coax her along to just max her out to a safe level that I know she can do, but not overdo it, of course. I'm a little regimented because I'm a martial artist in another lifetime ago. So I have a lot of that structure and physical fitness instilled in me. What time is it, Jim?
Time?
Yes. Wow. I thought it was 4 because the sun. We're in daylight savings time. The clock's at 5:34. The clocks have sprung forward, and it's staying lighter later, which is awesome for us. Because remember, we do these trips. We usually don't stay overnight. We have before. We're usually daily travelers. So we've traveled 5-6 hours in a day, and then come back 5 or 6 hours at night. So the more daylight we have, the better we are. That being said, the reason you're watching this with a pinkish tone is because we're using an infrared camera, which was designed for me to use at night. And because my full color camera wasn't acting right, I'm using it during the day, so it has a pinkish hue. But if the lights went out, sunset, we'd be able to broadcast and give you some pretty cool views. And we've done that many times. You can go to my WooFDriver channel and see on YouTube or WooFDriver.com. So watch how they make it. I'll get out.
I gotta get out anyway for work.
Sorry, bud. So watch how the dogs come through here nicely. Come on, guys. Zorro. Now Zorro's a little bit set back because I had the camera in front of him. How cool was that? Good boy. Come on, Chase. How cool was that, folks? If you got to see that. You might want to pick that end up. So Jag's a little bit tight, so we just maneuver him like that. Come on, Jag. He waits for the bike, and then he'll come through just like that. How cool was that? And I'll sit. You can see the dogs have had nothing but great experiences. That's why they're so comfortable just listening to me and going. Tell me when, bud. Good? Come on, hike. Hike. So the gates here, we have no choice but to go through them. And again, I'll do this slow. So the camera... No, it doesn't. I checked. Come on, guys.
Somebody bent it down before.
Yeah, probably Chris. Come on, Chase. No, we've never been here before, but that's the type of stuff Chris does. Come on, Jag. Move it over a little, Jim. Jag says, that's too tight for me. Good boy. Now you can do it, Jaggy. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. You're a good boy, Jaggy. Good girl, Princess. Good boy, Chase. Good boy, Jag. Good boy, Zorro. He did good, didn't he? Ready? Come on, guys. Hike. Come on, guys. I love that view of Princess with the sun hitting her. So we're going back just to get the extra mileage in, and we didn't drop off Princess and Jag. Jag seems like we're moving at a good pace, that he seems like he's still wants to be part of. And the boys, Chase and Zorro, I was going to drop Princess and Jag off so I could really air it out. They're the fastest dogs, and they have such similar strides that they run well together. We could have put some high speed out there, but they're all a little tired from the activity we've done. That wheel's making noise. Okay. Got a wheel that the bearings need to be replaced on. We noticed this trip. We replaced 2 last week. That's good. And you could do it on the trail, couldn't we? Well, not that one. Okay. He's good. He's just Jag. Come on, Jag. Maybe. Give him a breather for a second. He's just Jag. Come on, Jag. Good boy, Jaggy. Because I want to watch the dogs, how they're running. So I'll switch with Jimmy. And good boy, Jaggy. Okay, go easy. Good boy, come on. Good boy, Jag. Come on, good boy. You got it. Yep, yo, take your time. Nope, better to go slow than fast. Come on, Jaggy. Sometimes Jag gets a little, I think, bored. So I'll give him a little motivation. And I'll feel his line like this to make sure that he's not tiring. Nope. But with me back here, he'll run better. Believe it or not. So on the last leg of this journey, I'll sit back here. And I'll also observe the other 2. You can see their lines are out. That means they're pulling at full capacity, or engaged at full capacity, I should say. Hi, pretty Princess. Princess is sitting right here behind me. Comfortable. And boys are running great. So it's kind of cool letting Jim drive for me to see the perspective and evaluate how the dogs are doing from behind them and alongside a Jag. Princess is just as happy as can be, I can tell. She's keeping the boys in check. See, now, if I wasn't here, Jag might not engage as much, so he'll be back there further, and I want to keep him engaged. And he keeps his excitement when I'm here to encourage him on the last leg of our trip. Doing great, Jaggy. Come on. Good boy, Jag. Can't tell you how awesome this is, folks. Yes, it's awesome for being out here in roughly the wilderness. Yeah, we got a highway next to us, but I've read to you the history, and you can see the topography, and the mountain's not too far off in the distance, with a cool breeze going, and the dogs understanding and getting what their passion is, the walk or run in. It's awesome. So it's I call it the canine and mankind dream. Life to me doesn't get much better. Temperature is cool enough for the dogs for this time of year. It's never cold enough for them. It's cool enough. And it's warm enough for us humans if we're dressed properly. But I was alluding to earlier that huskies, I mean, theoretically, they say they can go down to 50 below zero. Not many, or lower. Not many places on earth get that cold. Good boy, Jag. But they theoretically have the capabilities, the build, and the insulation to go down that low. So they kind of motivate me to get out on some really cold and even snowy days that I normally would rather stay inside or even at the office where it's warm. But them needing that exercise and just really thriving in the cold and the sometimes treacherous conditions with, safety always in mind, it actually motivates me. So them loving it, I just want to see them be happy. Good boy, Jake. See, now I'm controlling with my hand a little bit because I want to keep him in front. And there's a couple reasons he backs off a little bit. It's one of it because this wheel is noisy. For some reason, as Shag's gotten older, he's always been a timid dog, and I've gotten him over everything. But for some reason, as he's gotten older, and the noises of the bike have become a little more amplified for him. And I think it all has to do with actually us going at a slower pace and him thinking about it. We've been going at that slower pace for Princess. So he becomes a little hesitant. Sometimes he backs off it a little bit. With me sitting back here and putting my hand like this, letting him know I'm there, he actually enjoys it and feels comfortable. And he was fine for the first 7 miles. It's just as the day wears on, he gets more and more inquisitive about it and hesitant. So this helps him work through it, and it's a good view for me. I've taught Jimmy how to drive this thing. Now if we go through a tight area, I'll take the reins back because I only trust myself with the dogs. Good boy. See that sound? There was a loud sound from the tire, and Jack, I can feel the difference in him backing off. But with me here, we'll keep it more consistent. Now we've gotten to areas where Jack just totally says, I'm not doing it. So you might have seen us. Sometimes I'll let him, he's trained off leash, all these dogs are. So you might have seen it where I'll as long as the area is well suitable for it, I'll let him off the leash. And I'll command him with my voice, and I'll stay right with the biker a little bit out in front. And he'll love it. But it's few and far places I can do that. But if I need to, it's part of the training. Good boy, Jag. I forgot Princess is back there. I'm like, wait a minute, what's behind me moving? So you can see, now, this kind of training might be necessary for a puppy, or a young dog, or a dog that's never done this before, because when the person that they trust the most is right next to them like this, and has their hands on boy, Jag. Boy, Jaggy. So far for the day, we've got about, I believe, 8.5 miles. And I think we're going to get 9 to 10. The trail was 8.1 miles. We started at about 1.5 miles. So that's why we're coming back. Plus it's a little more accessible. We can be picked up mostly anywhere on this trail. As you see, there's a lot of road access. But because of the lay of the land, it was easier to come back, and it gave the crew a little bit of extra mileage on such a beautiful day. Now it's going to keep warming up, so it's going to be harder to get as many miles in. And I'm measuring miles by their fitness. They need to get so many miles to really make a good physical activity for it. Got dogs behind the fence, and they're actually huskies. No, it's a shepherd. See how Jag bumped up? It has nothing to do with his physical. Yeah, 2 big shepherds. Nothing to do with his physical capability. It's just long hearing it, and again, a mental block, like Princess, just working through it. He heard that sound, and come on, Jag. It's okay, buddy. He heard that sound from the wheel. Come on, good boy. Good boy. If you were tuned in earlier in the broadcast, you would have heard me reading some of the historic trail signs, letting you know about the area. Come on, good boy. What's that, Jimmy? Yep. Let me drive and you, okay. Good boy. So, we got some navigating to do here. It ain't easy getting out of that back seat. Did you see when the dogs came, Jag was way up front. Then this tire's making noise, and he backs off.
You only got to hop out.
Yep. Okay, buddy. Which way you think I went here?
You go through, and then you go over to the wall.
But I think I went to the left.
Yeah. Oh, you go away to the left.
Yep. Come on, guys. Yep. Oh, yeah. So, I take over because this is Wolf driving to the max, and I need to be on board for this. Okay, guys. Oh. Take your time, buddy. Take your time. I'm in no hurry. Come on, guys. Hike. Yep. Good boys. Yep. Thank you. This is areas that I'm most concerned with because cars could hit us looking at us. Believe it or not, it's not as uncommon as you think. They just never seen anything like it. They take their eyes off the road for a second, and then all of a sudden they run into you. So I'm going pretty full tilt here, and I'm going to go around the bowl. Come on, guys. Haul. 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 Boys. Now, with that being said, I'll give the reins back over to Jimmy so I can keep the Jagster in line. Good girl. You're good girl. Good boy, Jaggy. Good boy, Chase. Good boy, Zorro. Hey, Jim, let's give him a little water. How much further we got? Okay, let's give him, I think give him a little water. Yep. I can see some saliva, drool, if you will, on Zara's tongue, so good time to water him. We did water him about a mile and a half ago, but we are in the sun. I saw her shake her head. No, I swear she went like that. Okay, Chase, we're gonna go in a sec.
They said we're taking too many breaks.
He's more interested in what's on his paw.
Is he all right?
Yeah, he's just. I think he's gonna want some more, Jimmy, but.
I'll give him some more. He'll give us something to go around.
Yep. Again, if you weren't with us before, I always water the dogs twice. So usually in an activity, they'll be panting pretty hard and they can't consume all the water they'd like to. And I don't want to make them feel like they need to gulp it, because there's something called bloat that can happen in dogs and it can be fatal. But if you give them access to it twice, I feel like it lets them hydrate themselves properly, more properly, or better. Oh, Jaggy was thirsty.
That was nice. 2.5 miles back.
Yeah.
They're good, huh?
Yeah, real good, bud.
There's a place, a parking area.
Yeah, man.
He wasn't there anyway.
I don't know where he's at.
Probably below New Coast.
Chase says, no, sir, I've had enough.
Damn you, he likes it on the hold, so makes him happy.
So it's not cold. It's not warm out here in the least bit, but when the sun hits, you can feel the warmth of the sun. So with Zara, okay, we're going to go. He thinks he sees something up there. He's just seeing the traffic go. Easy, Chase, easy, Chase. So I'm on the hill, so I'm letting you can drive, Jim. I'm going to watch them running. Careful you don't hit the motor.
I know that.
It's right near
I
there.
know that.
Okay, boys.
You hold the brake on when you do it.
Yep, I'll do that in one sec. Okay, bud.
That will stop me from hitting the motor.
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
Good to go?
Yep. I might slow you a little bit. So again, I'm gonna ride back here. Jag gets a little funny, especially towards the end of the run with the tire making noise. So I give him a little bit of encouragement by holding his lead like that and being back here with him. And also it gives me a chance to just observe everybody's gait from looking behind. Now, if we get to a tight situation, he sees something, he's excited. Yep, but that's okay because Jag will get excited too. I don't know what they thought was in these dirt piles, but there goes Jag. He's excited. Chase is excited, so come on, Jag. Yeah, he's just, come on. I thought he was gonna get a little more. Come on. Good boy. So it's almost like a mental block with him hearing the wheel noise. And it's been happening. It used to happen. It just one day happened. And again, as dogs get older, different issues arise. Maybe his hearing changed a little, or maybe he's just heard a similar noise when he's been outside and learned to not like it, whatever. But especially a dog like Jag, where he's timid, and I've gotten him over a lot of that. That's how I'm able to do this with him. But still, that can be reoccurring at different points in their life, and comforting him in doing this gets him over that hurdle. Just like Princess, when I was coaxing her along to run, and I was like, come on, good girl, being pretty animated. And you got someone coming, Jim. and putting her on the grass, changing up the terrain real quick, doing all kinds of different stuff to get her mind off of what that mental block was. Because it's not always physical. It's usually something in their mind. And that got a little bit more knowledge out of her. Even if it is tiredness, it's still, you can push her a little bit. I know what her capacity is, and I know her body action. Howdy, howdy. Thank you so much. So that's what's up with Jag. In a similar way. Now the bike just made a sound, so, and I felt him drop back a little bit. But this is the best kind of training. Good boy, Jag. Good boy. Come on, good boy. Come on, good boy. Boy, Jag. So if you're just joining us, we're getting to the tail end of our trip, but I am the WooFDriver, and you're live on a WooFDriver Adventure. What's that? I think so. Come on, good boy. You can see now, Jag. He's excited. Is this where you wanted him to meet us? What's that? Can't see it yet. Lead down. Yep. Let me ride the dogs through here, bud. Okay. Okay, to the right of the stop sign. You got someone coming, so. Right there. Okay, buddy. Well, he'll figure it out, Jim. Watch the gas getting up. Just stay where you're at. Whoops.
Thank you.
Howdy, howdy. Whoops. I'm caught on everything today. I hope nobody's seeing this on video. My vest is getting caught because it's not designed to be in that seat. Oh, we spun this around. Okay, guys. Stay. No, I went to the right of it. Yeah, I think you're right. Hike, guys. Hello, Zara. Okay. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Good boys. Boys. Come on, guys. Boys. Now, what I'll do is, I'm going to put Princess down. I've talked about this, how I'll actually reattach her to the bike, which I'm going to do. You're a good girl.
You all right, Linda?
Yep, water in the truck. We just watered them, so we don't need to do that. Let me put her down before you.
Yes, sir.
Good girl. Yeah, it's okay, pretty. She was still, thought she was still hooked up. Good girl. Now, in case she has to do a bathroom break or anything, she'll be able to do that. He's a little knotted up in the back. Groomer be liking that. Danielle, if you're watching, Zorro is ready for you. Except for she won't be there for, well, Zorro will be another week or two. Good girl. She's got matted up. She's got some mats on. Not mats, but where the burrs get into her fur, because we were free ranging pretty vigorously yesterday. So folks, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to keep you with me, and I'll actually probably wear the camera. Excuse me, phone's ringing here, and phone like that, we turn it off. Probably someone that wants to give me some money. We always say that, it's all these telephone solicitors get our names or our number somehow, and they're calling about everything, mainly just to bother us, see if they can sell us something. So what I was saying, I hope you enjoyed the show. We were broadcasting in pink, as I said. Remember, it's almost St. Patrick's Day. Think of it as green. The reason that is because my full color camera wasn't working. This is a custom made modification to the cameras I use to get the wide lens, and also so you can take in the whole view, also to get the pinkish hue, which means it's a nighttime camera. So that's why you see us in pink. I'm using the nighttime camera now because the color one wasn't working. But I am the WooFDriver. Hopefully I've been a good host and narrator. We went on a wonderful journey. We did roughly 10 miles on the Route 9 West Virginia trail. It's a trail for biking and walking that parallels Route 9 in West Virginia. And it's pretty interesting. Check Zorro out. Yep, he's just getting all the gookage off his paws. It's pretty interesting because most trails that run along the highways are no fun because there's nothing to view. But the topography of the area made it pretty interesting, and there's some historical signs that I read on camera. Hopefully you got to see them. If not, you can go back and watch it in this video once it's posted. And you got to meet the dogs. If you've never seen them before, you got to learn a little bit more about them. And some pointers about huskies and doing the kind of activities we do, as well as the equipment. So hopefully that was beneficial to you, and hopefully entertaining at the same time. So Jag's laying down, Zorro's laying down. We've had a good run. We've been pretty active, as I said, over the past 3 days. We've done roughly 10 miles, and Princess is 15 years old, and she's been part of that. So today, her mileage was 1 3/4 of a mile. And I think pacing, including the truck pacing, she probably got another mile in. She paces in the back of the truck like it's going out of style. Hi, good girl. Hi, good girl. Hi, good girl. Just feeling her. Always want to know the condition of the dogs. And Jim, what he's doing is he's getting the truck ready. And by the way, I'll take the camera off. He's getting the truck ready for the dogs. And that means putting the water in their bowls. And I'm going to show you how I do this.
On go, buddy.
All good? Great, man. So I'm moving the camera now, in case you couldn't tell. I'm actually wearing the camera now, and I'm going to give you a quick view of how I do this. So Princess goes in first. Can you stay with the truck, Jim? I mean the bike?
Yep, I'm staying
Cool.
with it.
So she's got the... Now, notice how I walk wide to Zorro. Never want to brush up with the other dogs when one's on lead and one's off. That could be trouble. Confrontational. Come on, good girl. She wants me to help her up. Good girl. Good girl. See, that gives her a little handle. That handle allows me to boost her up a little bit. Cool. Just checking out the back. Hi, good girl. She's got her water bowl back there. And remember, this is a little princess block. Because when the boys come up here, she's going to want to say this is my area. And possibly snipping them a little. Hey, can you drop the window some more, Chris? Thanks, bud. So next one I usually put in is Zorro. And Zorro is ready for action. Pull the carabiner off him, the tether, and he's got a little handle on his too. He's pretty good. I'll go right in. Go ahead, good boy. Zorro, we're pretty far away, even though that highway's there. There's a fence there, but he's pretty trustworthy up in there, and he'll listen really well. He's not going anywhere. But certain situations, I might choose not to do that. All depends. Sorry about this, folks. Carabiner's a little bit of a problem. It's a little tight on this D-ring. Sorry, Chase. So, there we go. Good boy. So I was a little, he felt my hand ricochet back on him. So I wanted to assure him he was a good boy when he felt that, and that wasn't a bad thing. Whenever anything happens that could be stressful to them, always praise them. Let them know it was good. So they say, oh, I still did a good thing. Even though, stay, buddy. Good boy, Jay. Good boy. Good boy. Truck. And there goes Jag. Now what I'll do is, I'll keep you with me on this. Look, he just laid right down. That's Jag's favorite position. Come here, good boy. He knows it's time to take off the harness. Hi, good boy. Here's Paul. Good boy, Jaggy. And Jag is set, just like that. Now we put, to keep track of everything. Chris, hey Chris, let me get the rest of the cameras just because I don't want their lenses getting messed up. So I'll be there in 2 minutes and I'll take the rest. So now we're gonna take Zorro's, Chase's harness off. Princess will, hi, good girl. Keep her harness on. Hi, good boy. Hi, good boy. So I unhook both with these H-back harnesses. You don't have to, but on Zorro, because he's so big and he's pretty wedged against the seat, I'll unhook both. With Jag, I only unhooked one. And you saw me get his neck through it. The boy Zorro. Always look the dogs over pretty good to make sure. You know, sometimes their nails, if they're not running right, or I've had it with the concrete or the trail's super frozen, sometimes I've seen their nails wear all the way down. Come on, good boy. And into their bloodline. Come on, good boy. And sometimes they'll bleed a little, so you want to be careful of that too. Now I'm going to unhook the first one here. And then good boy, Chase. He was a little off balance, so I'm very animated to let him know that he didn't do anything wrong. I just took the harness, pulled it off of him too quick, or around his paw. That's why he stumbled. Hi, good boy. You're a good boy. Always let him know. So they're water bowls. They have water, and they're set in that capacity. I'm gonna put a couple things away. So just real quick, let you know everything is organized like when we got here. And I don't know if you can see that, all the boxes are there, and we're getting ready to load out now. Load up, I should say. So I am the WooFDriver. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you on another WooFDriver broadcast real soon. And any questions, comments, anything you want to say, please feel free to leave them in the comment section of the feed that you're watching this broadcast on. Have a great day, everybody. WooFDriver signing off.